Chapter 220. Ivy Academy, Contestant Yubing. If she is not here in 10 seconds, she will forfeit. The referee and another contestant went up the stage. They waited for a long time, but did not see anyone. On the other side, Yu Yang and Yubing had just entered their reserve box and did not have time to go up the stage. There were not many people watching the secondary elimination matches today. There were only a few hundred people in the seats that could accommodate thousands or tens of thousands of spectators. It was an exaggeration to say that there were more students preparing for the semifinals than there were spectators. In reality, 90% of the spectators who came to watch the competition were friends or relatives of certain students. They were all here to cheer for them. The current box was also cheap. It could be rented for 3 silver coins, and there was even free tea. When it came to the top 100 tournament, a VIP box that could accommodate more than 10 people would definitely not be rented for less than 10 gold coins. As for the top 10 group finals and the grand finals, the price would probably double. Yi Kong rushed down the stage and said to the referee, "Contestant Yubing just ran here. Please wait for another minute and let her drink some water to catch her breath." When the referee heard this, his face turned darker than his clothes. It was fine if she was late, but she still wanted to drink water to catch her breath. He immediately started counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Moreover, his counting speed was slightly faster than usual. Yubing did not have time to walk out of the corridor to enter the contestants area. She directly jumped down from the VIP box and barely managed to count to 1. She jumped onto the stage. Her face was red and her heart was beating like a drum because she was nervous about the time. When she got on the stage, she hurriedly bowed to the referee and apologized nervously. "Referee, I am Yubing." The referee did not have a good expression at first. However, when he saw that contestant Yubing, who was audacious enough to be late and made him wait for so long, she turned out to be a cute little girl. His iron heart immediately softened. He wondered if this little girl had a poor sense of direction and could not find the competition venue. She did not look like the kind of lazy person who liked to be late. "If you're ready, let's start the competition." The referee tried his best to look serious. Unknowingly, his voice had become much gentler. If it was another male contestant, he would have already scolded them severely. Yubing had always been very respectful towards her elders and teachers, so she quickly bowed in response. A little fledgling, the opponent was a tall and skinny man. When he saw that his opponent was Yubing, he felt proud in his heart. He felt that victory was already in his hands. The comprehensive challenge competition does not restrict the use of combat skills, beasts, or other combat techniques, but the requirement is that there must be beasts participating. All right, you can summon your beasts now. The competition was divided into 3 rounds, and each round had a time limit of 3 minutes. If the opponent was knocked out of the ring, knocked out, or surrendered, the winner would be the winner. If the winner of the 3 rounds could not be determined, then the winner would be determined based on the effective attacks and the momentum of the attacks. The more effective attacks and the stronger the momentum of the attacks, the winner would be the winner. The forbidden action is to kill with malicious intent. Our goal is to compete, not to kill. Are you all clear? The black-clothed referee quickly and clearly stated the rules. Yes, I understand." Yubing nodded obediently. Tisk, the tall and skinny man on the other side, was disdainful. Who didn't know this kind of rule? It was said once in every competition and repeated over and over again. It was really annoying. The classmate who supported the tall and skinny man shouted from below the ring, "Xiao Lu, don't be soft-hearted. Take down that fledgling. If you win this round, you can return to the elite competition. Don't go easy on her just because she's a girl. Fight properly. If you win, we'll go find a girl with big breasts. This flat-chested fledgling isn't worth looking at. Hurry up and take her down." These words infuriated Yi Kong and Fatty Hai. A competition was a competition. Why did they have to talk so much nonsense? It was fine if they talked nonsense, but they even talked about flat-chested and whatnot. Were these lowly fellows born to be beaten up? They dared to say such things to Yubing. Yu Yang had just sat down and had not even had the time to drink his tea when he heard the arrogant words of the other party. He was furious. He threw his teacup and prepared to chop those lowly men to death. Princess Sisai hugged him tightly and scolded him. Idiot, it's none of your business. Who cares what he says? Just let Bing Air win against that lowly man. Victory is the most important thing. You sit down properly. City Mistress Fallen Flowers laughed out loud. She realized that Yu Yang was really a protective person. Of course, this feeling of being protected by him was not bad at all. Although he was not protecting her now, City Mistress Fallen Flowers knew that if someone dared to laugh at her like this, he would also get angry for her. Below the ring, Yi Kong and Fatty Hai prepared to rush over and beat up those lowly men. The two linesmen saw that something was wrong and hurried over to stop them. Although Fatty Hai managed to stop them, his anger did not subside so easily. He pointed at the group of students and scolded, "Trash! Remember, don't let me see you on the stage, otherwise I'll beat you up until your teeth fall out." When the group of people saw that Fatty Hai, Yi Kong, and the Lee brothers only had 4 people, while they had 10 people, their courage soared. The leading man arrogantly sneered, "Fat pig, you should be glad that you're here. If you were outside, we would have already turned you into a braised pig. I'm Gucci Jean from Z Jean Kingdom's Golden Wolf Academy. I'm here to tell you, fat pig, if you have the ability, meet me in the top 100 competition." Without waiting for Fatty Hai to reply, the two linesmen had already chased him away. They only said one sentence. When Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and the others heard it, they had no choice but to obediently go back. This was because the linesmen said, if the relatives and friends below the stage fight, the contestants on the stage will be disqualified. Haha, you're only fit to be a teammate with a pig-like fellow. The tall and skinny guy laughed out loud. He did not care about how strong Yu Bing was at all, especially when he knew that this opponent had already lost 2 rounds in a row. His heart was filled with even more disdain. He felt that it wasn't that he was weak, it was just that he was unlucky. In the first round of the elite competition, he had met Shui Tianlang, one of the 3 great killing stars. It was normal that he couldn't win. As for Yu Bing, he didn't even put her in his eyes. The tall and skinny guy summoned a black bear. It was bronze-ranked level 3 and had strong strength. The black-clothed referee secretly shook his head. In this battle, it seemed like the defeat of the little girl named Yu Bing was already a foregone conclusion. A bronze-ranked level 3 beast and a black bear with great strength. The black-clothed referee did not make a gesture start, but asked in a low voice, "Do you want to give up or continue?" He was a little worried for Yu Bing. The attack from the opponent's black bear could put the little girl's life in danger. Continue the competition. Yu Bing was no longer the Yu Bing of the past. She had fought alongside her brother and had already been reborn, becoming a ranker. In the Taurus Temple, Cancer Temple, and Leo Temple, she had killed more than 10 bronze-ranked beasts. She had even killed many bronze-ranked level 5 Oxhead warriors and bronze-ranked barbaric bulls, bronze-ranked level 5 giant crabs, and bronze-ranked lions. In her eyes, a bronze-ranked level 3 black bear was nothing. She really wanted to pass the 100 Schools Elite competition to prove to her brother that she had improved by training hard. She also wanted to prove that the various techniques that her brother had taught her could be used in real battles. In Yu Bing's heart, this 100 Schools Elite competition was equivalent to her reporting her results to her brother. Hence, she decided to give her best results to her brother. Yu Bing nodded towards Yu Yang, who was in the private room, her eyes filled with determination. The black-clothed referee made a gesture for the 2 contestants to come forward and salute. Yu Bing did not summon her grimoire, nor did she summon her 100-year-old Treant defender. She first bowed politely to the opponent. The tall and skinny guy did not have this kind of demeanor. He took the opportunity when Yu Bing bowed to order the black bear to attack her. Despicable and shameless. Yi Kong was furious when he saw this. It was fine if it was just a verbal attack, but what kind of person was this guy? Both parties saluted, but he actually launched a sneak attack? Furthermore, his opponent was a girl. Yi Kong almost wanted to jump onto the stage and tear this guy apart alive. Idiot! Yu Yang looked at the tall and skinny guy with a mocking smile. The black bear roared like thunder. It stood up on its hind legs and slapped down on Yu Bing's head with a huge paw. Yu Bing's image flashed and suddenly appeared on top of the tall and skinny guy's head. She landed a heavy roundhouse kick on his face, which was filled with complacency, because he thought that his scheme had succeeded. Boom! The tall and skinny guy flew out of the arena, blood spurting out from his mouth and nose. Other than those who knew about Yu Bing's strength, everyone else was stunned by this scene. Even Yi Kong and Fatty Hai did not know that Yu Bing had already become this strong. Under Yu Yang's guidance, Yu Bing had become stronger. Yi Kong and Fatty Hai knew about this. However, they did not know that even her combat skills had increased to the point where she could instantly kill her opponent. Yu Yang laughed complacently. He knew that Yu Bing was kind-hearted and did things according to the rules. She usually abided by the rules, and because she was pure and naive, she trusted others easily. In this way, she could easily be ambushed or deceived in battle. To counter these shortcomings, he specially created a type of combat skill for her that could make sudden changes at the last minute. Before teaching Yu Bing, Yu Yang had repeatedly told her to pay attention to her opponent's every move. She had to pay attention at all times, and when the opponent made a move, she had to use her body's reaction to counterattack without thinking. She had to achieve the natural reaction of if the opponent doesn't move, I won't move. If the opponent moves, I will move first. Although Yu Bing had no way to meet Yu Yang's requirements, she had no way to reach the realm of attack later, but reach first. However, it was already impossible for her opponent to ambush her. Yu Bing's greatest strength was that she was obedient. Whatever Yu Yang said, she would remember it attentively and use it whenever needed. Yu Yang might not be a good teacher, but Yu Bing was definitely a good student. Yu Yang was not surprised at the result of Yu Bing killing the tall and skinny man. On the contrary, it was a matter of course. Ivy Academy's Yu Bing wins. The black-clothed referee was stunned for a moment. After regaining his senses, he hurriedly waved his hand to indicate that Yu Bing had won. Impossible. She ambushed me. She ambushed Xiao Lu. The group of opponents obviously could not accept this result. Roar, roar. The bronze-ranked level 3 black bear suddenly pounced towards Yu Bing. It opened its bloody mouth, revealing its dense, sharp teeth. It turned out that the tall and skinny man who had fallen to the ground was not willing to accept his defeat, so he continued to order the black bear to attack. The black-clothed referee was furious. How could he go against the rules like this? She actually dared to challenge his authority as a referee. He was about to punch the black bear out of the arena when he suddenly saw Yu Bing's figure flashing, easily dodging the black bear's bite. Boom, 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 boom. She consecutively sent out 18 beautiful yet powerful roundhouse kicks, kicking the black bear's huge body until it staggered backwards. The last kick even sent the black bear flying 2 meters away, causing it to crash heavily onto the body of the tall and skinny man who was just about to get up. The black-clothed referee's mouth was so wide that a toad could be stuffed inside. It can't be. The audience who had noticed this match also had their eyeballs drop to the ground. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and the others stared dumbfoundedly at Yu Bing, who was slightly out of breath due to her full-strength attack. They couldn't believe it. Was this still the Yu Bing that they knew? Chapter 2:21. She launched a sneak attack. This is a shameless sneak attack. The group of people on the other side became anxious. They never thought that Yu Bing was a combat expert who could even beat a bronze-ranked level 3 black bear off the stage. Linesmen, guards, chased this group of people out. Also, arrest this guy who violated the competition rules and martial arts ethics. The black-clothed referee hated people who challenged his authority the most. Not only did this Golden Wolf Academy student launch a sneak attack while they were bowing, she even ordered the black bear to continue attacking after she was beaten off the stage. This was simply courting death. When not satisfied, it's clearly her fault. She used a combat skill. She didn't summon a beast. A skinny guy on the other side quickly grabbed onto this point to protest. Yes, this is not a combat skill challenge. This is a comprehensive challenge. You must have a beast. She didn't. She broke the rules first. This competition is invalid. The group of people on the other side started to clamor. The black-clothed referee looked at them and saw that it was true. the girl on the other side did not summon a beast. Of course, this was not her fault. She had not even summoned a beast when she was ambushed. The black-clothed referee saw that the girl was obedient and strong, and secretly praised her in his heart. He was prepared to forgive Yu Bing and not pursue this matter anymore. Unexpectedly, Yu Bing slightly cupped her hands in greeting and calmly nodded with a smile. "I have a beast. It's just that you can't see it." She raised her hand slightly, and a ball of green light slowly spread out from her body. Finally, it gradually formed a human shape. This was obviously Yu Bing's second guardian beast, the green light tree demoness. Yu Yang saw that the mysterious beauty had fused element-type beasts in her body like strengthening-type beasts. After the battle with Tu Cheng, Yu Yang had also learned how to fuse element-type beasts with strengthening-type beasts. In order to let Yu Bing's green light tree demoness fuse better with her body, Yu Yang had specially taught her this special skill. In the end, not to mention normal people, even the black-clothed referee could not see it. When the black-clothed referee saw this, he felt ashamed in his heart. He thought that he had made an error in judgment, but he did not admit it on the surface. He still had a grave expression on his face as he angrily rebuked, "You are being unreasonable and questioning the authority of the referee. Arrest all of you and hand them over to the competition's disciplinary officers to deal with." A few silver armor guards rushed over to capture them, and the two linesmen warned that anyone who resisted would be disqualified from the competition. The students of Golden Wolf Academy had no choice but to follow the silver armor guards to the small black room outside for a period of time. Right now, they could only pray that the Academy's mentors would bring them out as soon as possible. Otherwise, they might even miss the competition later on. When Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and the others saw these dejected fellows walking past, they all stuck out their middle fingers to show their disdain. The students of Golden Wolf Academy were inwardly furious, but the black-clothed referee was staring at them. If they dared to make a move, it wouldn't be as simple as being disqualified from the competition. They would really have to stay in a small black room for a period of time. Moreover, their names would be reported to the entire competition. At that time, they would definitely lose all their reputation. "Skinny monkey, fat pig, just you wait." The leader, Gu Chi Jin, sneered with hatred. This enmity had been formed. "Would I be afraid of you?" If it was in the past, Fatty Hai might be a little timid. But now, he had experienced countless life and death battles. He had killed demons, giant beasts, and crazy mercenaries. He had also undergone 2 months of hellish training under the guidance of the Eagle-Eyed Man. Most importantly, under the guidance of Yu Yang, he had focused on improving his body's hidden ability and nurturing his guardian beast, the Iron Rhinoceros. He was no longer the ignorant person he was in the past. It was impossible to repeat the incident where he was punched out of the arena in less than 10 seconds. Fatty Hai's combat power had greatly improved. After experiencing life and death situations, his confidence had naturally increased. He really did not put an opponent like Gu Chi Jin in his eyes. Although he did not say it out loud, Fatty Hai had the faint thought of challenging the 3 great killing stars to test his limits. If it was in the past, he wouldn't even dare to dream about it. The old cunning fox who was watching the battle from the sidelines was now very arrogant. Yu Bing really lived up to his expectations. She did not even use her beasts and only used her combat skills to instantly defeat her opponent. He thought maliciously, if this little girl summoned her 2 bronze-ranked level 500 years old Tran defenders, would her opponent be so scared that he would pee his pants? It was a pity that her opponent was too weak. She did not even need to summon her 100 years old Tran defenders. She could just use her combat skills to instantly kill her opponent. You guys seem to have a good seedling this year. Her surname is Yu. Is she a child from the Yu clan? One of the teachers asked curiously. It's a pity that this child is only good at combat skills. If she had a strong beast, she would probably be able to enter the top 50. Another teacher purposely said. He wanted to test the old cunning fox's words. How could the old cunning fox not know what these fellows were thinking? His lips curled into a sneer, and he pretended to be humble as he ridiculed. How could our student have any good beasts? She only has 2 bronze-ranked level 5 Trans. Plant-type beasts are trash. They are far inferior to your student's bronze-ranked level 3 black bear. The few people who mocked the old cunning fox previously were so depressed that they wanted to vomit blood. They did not think that the old cunning fox would really find a genius who was good at plant-type beasts. They had really lost all their faith this time. The commotion quickly subsided, and the secondary elimination round continued. After 10 minutes, it was finally Yu Yang's turn to fight. Yu Yang was too lazy to fight. He put on his golden Gemini mask and immediately summoned his evil shadow to fight on his behalf. The evil shadow only had half of Yu Yang's strength. It could only exist for a short period of an hour, but it was more than enough to participate in the competition. Yu Yang was afraid that this evil shadow's eyes did not have any light of intelligence and would be easily seen through. He simply put on a mask and a black cloth to cover his eyes. In any case, the evil shadow relied on its instincts to fight, so it did not need to use its eyes at all. Good heavens, when it appeared, no one could tell that it was an evil shadow. They all thought that this student named Titan was blind. The old cunning fox was also dumbfounded. After looking at it for almost 10 seconds, he finally realized that it was only an evil shadow. However, it was extremely lifelike. On the surface, it looked like a real person, but its body did not have any flesh and blood, and it did not have any signs of life. Other than the little girl, just now, don't you have any other elites? Why did you send a blind person to fight? The old cunning fox and the other teachers laughed out loud when they saw it. This time, it was the old cunning fox's turn to be speechless. Who was blind? Even a teacher couldn't tell that it was an evil shadow. With this level of skill, how could he dare to be a teacher? With this level of skill, wasn't he afraid that he would lead his students astray? When the other teachers saw that the old cunning fox was not making a sound, they thought that he was feeling guilty and laughed secretly. When it was Yu Yang's turn to fight, he changed to a white-clothed judge. Because of the previous incident with Yu Bing, he did not want to embarrass himself anymore, so he immediately checked the beasts of both parties. Yu Yang still did not use the Reaper Mantis. What a joke! If he used a gold-ranked beast in the secondary elimination round, it would be strange if his opponent did not cry from fright. He sent a quintet golden puppet mouse. The spectating students were all shocked by Yu Yang's actions. What could a little puppet mouse do? The old cunning fox's friends laughed so hard that they almost cried. They patted the old cunning fox's shoulders and said, "This student of yours is the best." Towards their short-sightedness, the old cunning fox sneered in his heart. "Are you looking down on me? You won't even have the time to cry later." The white-clothed judge had just waved his hand to signal the start of the battle. Before the opponent's winged leopard could even rush over, the evil shadow had already grabbed the winged leopard's bloody mouth and forcefully ripped its mouth apart, all the way to its neck. This violent and bloody action had even stunned the white-clothed judge. A normal level 4 winged leopard was actually torn apart with his bare hands? When the evil shadow, whose hands were dripping with blood, walked step by step towards the dumbstruck contestant. That fellow was so scared that he started crying and ran off the stage in fear. This blind person is also a combat expert. Where did you find so many combat experts? A few of the other teachers were jealous. In the past, the Ivy Academy was the worst of the worst. Contestants would be kicked out of the stage in less than 10 seconds. This was a world record and also a joke that everyone loved to talk about. Who would have thought that this year, the Ivy Academy would have 2 abnormal students who were both very good at combat? One of them was a little girl who could use her legs to send a black bear flying, while the other was a blind person who could use his bare hands to tear apart a winged leopard. This Ivy Academy was too far away, right? Student Titan, this is wrong. Didn't I tell you not to be too violent? It's hard to pacify a child who is scared to tears. The old cunning fox's words were like a slap to the faces of his friends. Don't be too proud. We'll see in the elite competition. A few of the other teachers were very depressed. They flicked their sleeves and left. All right, at that time, please ask your elite students to be merciful. We, the students of the Ivy Academy, are only interested in participating. We don't have the strength to fight with you for the championship. Everyone, take care. I'll go back and comfort the crying students. Remember to be merciful, haha. When the old cunning fox saw that the crying student was still frightened by the evil shadow's murderous aura, he laughed heartily. Luckily, Yu Yang and Yu Bing had rushed over. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to vent his anger. The evil shadow sent out by Yu Bing and Yu Yang had won another round. They had finally returned to the preliminary round of the elite competition. The old cunning fox ran to the private room and sat down calmly. He took the tea that city mistress Fallen Flowers had brewed for him and looked at Yu Yang with crooked eyes. He clicked his tongue and said, "Brat, it's fine if you don't know. If I didn't know, I would have thought that you were here to pick up girls. How comfortable is this? You don't have to fight in the competition, and you have a little beauty by your side. Isn't this life a little too leisurely? Where did you get this golden mask? It seems like it's still passable." Yu Yang gave him the middle finger. "I fought a bloody battle in the Gemini temple to get it. Don't even think about it. I'm telling you, old man, don't have any ideas on me. Otherwise, I'll report you to the principal." The old cunning fox laughed. "I'm not corrupt or bribed. Why would you report me?" Of course, Yu Yang had a way to deal with him. He moved closer and whispered, "Someone has a very beautiful picture album. The beauties in the album are all naked. I remember someone saying that there are pictures of the previous principals. I don't know if it's true. If I present it to the principal, I think she would be very happy to see a picture of herself eating fruit. I believe that she would have a new understanding of what kind of person the vice principal is." Pooh! When the old cunning fox heard this, he spat out his tea. He hurriedly smiled apologetically. "What picture album? Student Tai Tan must have misunderstood. I know a restaurant that makes very good seafood. The taste is very good, and the price is not cheap either. I was just about to celebrate your and Bing Air's victory. Come, let's go drink a cup and forget everything that happened in the past. Of course, I've always been very forgetful." Yu Yang smiled and nodded. "If a certain generous vice principal rewarded my sister with a space crystal staff, I would definitely be even more forgetful." When the girls heard this, they were all speechless. It wasn't that they hadn't seen ruthless people before, but they had never seen such a ruthless person who exploited his own teacher. Chapter 222. After a few days of the elite tournament, Yu Bing successfully passed. This was because the opponents she met were not strong. She did not even need to summon her 100-year Treant warrior to win. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and the Li brothers also successfully entered the top 100 tournament. As for Yu Yang, he only needed to send out his evil shadow to win the tournament. Ivy Academy was in the limelight this year. The weakest academy in the previous years actually had 6 students enter the top 100. This kind of strength attracted many people's attention. Other than Shangjing Academy, Fragrance Academy, and Grey Wolf Academy, Ivy Academy had become the biggest dark horse this year, attracting many people's attention. Among them, Yu Yang, the blind Titan, was the one that all the students hated the most. Secretly, many students suspected that this Titan was a pervert because he was blind. That was why his attacks were so cruel. Of course, very few people could see that it was just a phantom beast. I look forward to fighting with Titan. The cold Shui Tan Lang seemed to know that Titan was Yu Yang. Almost every time he drew lots, he would pray to fight with Yu Yang. Insignificant skill, not worth laughing at. Prince of Zijin, who had a high chance of winning the tournament, showed a look of disdain. Opponent, I am most willing to fight with Fragrance Academy's Holy Spear Lady or Prince of Tian Luo in the finals. Being able to fight with Prince of Zijin is also not bad. You mean Dragon Ambassador Ken Lan Yu from the Eastern Ocean Crystal Palace? No, how could I forget him? I feel that he will be my rival in life. As for the 3 great killing stars, they are so famous, they must be quite strong. I'm not familiar with them. I really want to fight with them in the tournament. Titan? Who is he? I have never heard of him before. The Floating Mist Sect's junior elder was called by Yunfei. Although he was extremely arrogant, his strength was unquestionable. Ever since he left the sect, he had defeated countless strong enemies in just 2 months. The most shocking thing was that he used one finger to block Tian Luo Kingdom's level 6 elder Lai Zhongtian's full power attack. Lai Zhongtian's full power attack was terrifying. He had once killed a demon commander and heavily injured a demon general. Who would have thought that Bai Yunfei would actually be able to block it with just one finger? When the news of this battle spread, the warriors of the soaring dragon continent were in an uproar. The whole world was shocked, if not for the fact that Bai Yunfei was the junior headmaster of the Southern Mountains School. No one would have believed this to be true. But since he was the junior headmaster of one of the 4 schools, no one had any reason to doubt him. Bai Yunfei had only left the mountain for 2 months, but he had already been recognized as the most outstanding young warrior in the soaring dragon continent. It turned out that Xue Tanlang's title as the most outstanding young martial artist had already been transferred to Bai Yunfei. Yin Pejun, who was originally the most well-rounded and had the most potential, had also been suppressed by the Prince of Zijin, who had appeared out of nowhere. The Prince of Zijin had appeared a few days later than Bai Yunfei, but he had defeated twice as many rankers as Bai Yunfei. The Prince of Zijin could speak 8 different languages and write 6 different languages. His summoned beasts were elemental type, strengthening type, beast type, and special type. It was said that he even had 5 gold-ranked beasts. The most terrifying thing was that the Prince of Zijin was also a genius in battle skills. He had previously created 2 battle skills, the deer-chasing divine arrow and the desert sandstorm. He had first used the deer-chasing divine arrow to kill Gong Wenku, who was known as the best archer among the Xia Kingdom's horse bandits. Then, he had used the desert sandstorm to kill the leader of the wolf bandits, Bo Li Kwa. The reason why the Prince of Zijin was ranked below the junior headmaster, Bai Yunfei, was not because he was weaker, but because they felt that Bai Yunfei was more specialized. After all, Bai Yunfei was able to block Lai Zhongtian's all-out attack with just one finger. That kind of strength was too terrifying. With the 2 of them participating in the 100-school elite tournament, although the 3 great killing stars were already famous, the hot favorites to win the championship had already shifted to Bai Yunfei and the Prince of Zijin. Everyone believed that the 3 great killing stars would not have any problems entering the finals. Between them, Bai Yunfei and the Prince of Zijin, who would become the champion, it was no longer a matter of strength, but rather a matter of luck. This was because even a super strong person like the junior headmaster, Bai Yunfei, might not be able to become the champion after encountering the 3 great killing stars all the way until he was completely exhausted. Everything would depend on the drawing of lots for the top 8. Bai Yunfei and the Prince of Zijin had a slightly higher chance of becoming the champion. Xue Tenlang was also a popular candidate. After all, he had the strength to become the champion 3 times in a row. As for Yu Tian, Yu Yin, Xue Qianren, and the others, they did not have a high chance of becoming the champion. However, everyone believed that they would be the biggest obstacle for Bai Yunfei and the Prince of Zijin to become a champion. The abnormal blind Titan from Ivy Academy. Who was he? The audience did not know him at all. Could it be that he was stronger than the level 6 elder Lai Zhongtian? Even if he had Lai Zhongtian's strength, so what? Bai Yunfei had blocked Lai Zhongtian's all-out attack with just one finger. Many gossipy students then went to ask the Holy Spear Lady, who was wearing a silver mask and armor, who did she want to fight with the most. The Holy Spear Lady gave the audience a depressing answer. Titan, did you decide to teach that abnormal blind man a lesson because his attacks were too cruel? Someone asked, puzzled. You could say that. He looks like he deserves a beating. The Holy Spear Lady did not seem to agree with other people's opinion of Titan, but she did not express her opinion. The junior sect leader said that he hoped to meet you in the finals. He seems to be very interested in you. He has publicly expressed his love to you more than once. May I know what your response is? Someone else wanted to create some scandals to attract everyone's attention and asked, looks like I have to disappoint the junior sect leader. I don't have any feelings for him. The Holy Spear Lady said bluntly, rejecting the junior sect leader as public declaration of love. The one who was most disappointed was the person who asked the question. The Holy Spear Lady had destroyed everyone's fantasies with a single sentence. While everyone was disappointed, They ran to the Prince of Luo, who was recognized as the most handsome man in the world by all the girls. May I know who your most desired opponent is? Would it be the three great killing stars, the junior sect leader by Yunfei, or the Prince of Zijin? Do you think that you will be able to become the champion of the individual competition? The junior sect leader and the Prince of Zijin have talked about your beauty more than once. Do you have any response to that? The jade-like Prince of Luo's appearance was indeed breathtaking. Even though he was a guy, he was still more handsome than a girl. That pair of crystal-clear eyes that could see the bottom of one's heart revealed a hint of sadness. Just by looking at him, one's heart would break. Even if it was the world's most arrogant girl or the world's most boorish man, they would not be able to resist his charm. His words were like a spring in a forest passing by a rock. Even if it was a man's voice, it was still like the sounds of nature. It was pleasing to the ears, causing people to be intoxicated by it. If one had to find a flaw in this Prince of Luo, it would be that he rarely smiled. Almost 1,000 beautiful girls spontaneously formed a support group. They sang and danced for him, hoping that the sadness in his eyes would lessen a little. Everyone did not understand why this Prince of Luo was so depressed, but no one dared to ask him. They were afraid that they would increase his pain. No girl in this world would be able to resist the Prince of Luo's smile. This sentence, no one would doubt it, including Yi Yang. This morning, when Yi Kong found a battle report, when Yi Yang saw the portrait of the Prince of Luo, he did not tear it into pieces or burn it like what Yi Kong and Fatty Hai thought. Instead, he kept it in his bosom as if it was a precious treasure. Yi Kong and Fatty Hai sighed inwardly. It's over. This brat Yi Yang could not resist the Prince of Luo's charm. It seemed like he had the tendency to flirt with girls. Are you really interested in chrysanthemums? Fatty Hai was curious. Didn't this brat Yu Yang only like beautiful girls? That depends on who it is. Yu Yang replied evilly. It can't be. You pervert. Fatty Hai and the others were so scared that they were sweating profusely. What kind of expression is that? Go away. This young master's sexual orientation is very normal. Yu Yang could not restrain his anger as he sent Fatty Hai flying with a kick. This time, Yi Kong and the others were relieved. They guessed that Yu Yang did not really like men, but when he saw the unparalleled handsome Prince of Luo, he could not bear to hurt him. It was the kind of admiration towards beautiful things, not love. The competition started very early today. They had to arrive before 7 a.m. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was still sleeping on her bed, but Princess Sisai had woken up. However, she was practicing her swordsmanship, preparing to break through to a new realm. They all felt that this brat Yu Yang would definitely win. It would be fine even if they did not go and support him. On the other hand, Yu and Yu Bing had woken up early. They prepared early and ran over to help Yu Yang draw the lots. When Yu Yang, Fatty Hai, Yi Kong, and the Li clan brothers arrived at the competition grounds, they realized that Yu and Yu Bing were panting as they ran back, as if there was an army chasing after them. They hurriedly comforted them. Don't worry, I woke up on time today. I'm not late. However, Yu shook her head. She was still preparing to say something when Yu Bing interrupted. Brother, it's not good. Your opponent is Prince of Luo. I didn't think that I would draw him. Ah, when Fatty Hai and Yi Kong heard this, they were stunned. They knew that it was not good. Yi Yang might hold back. Why did he have to meet the Prince of Luo? Really? Looks like it's not bad. Yu Yang seemed to be pleasantly surprised. It's not bad at all. Right now, the girls who are supporting the Prince of Luo are chasing after you with weapons in their hands. They are preparing to kill you to prevent you from hurting the Prince of Luo. Those girls have already gone crazy. When Yu Bing said this, Fatty Hai and Yi Kong sweated profusely. They were completely done for this time. The Prince of Luo's Pink Rose support group had more than 1,000 people. Once those fanatical girls went crazy, their impact would be no less than 300,000 wild bulls. It can't be. Yu Yang was also stunned. From afar, it was as if 10,000 horses were galloping. Countless girls with weapons were rushing towards them. Some were riding on beasts, some were flying in the sky, some were holding mace, some were holding huge swords. In short, the dozen or so silver armor guards who wanted to stop them were easily crushed by them. Yi Kong and Fatty Hai would rather fight against the demons of one mo abyss than fight against these fanatical girls. Even the most unsmilingly brothers were wiping their cold sweat. Seeing this, Yu Yang knew that it would be a tragedy if he didn't run. He hurriedly pulled Yu Bing and Yu Yu and turned to run. Before he left, he pointed at Fatty Hai. Catch him, he is the fat, perverted titan from the Ivy Academy. Everyone go. Take care of him and do justice for the heavens. You can't be. How can you be so disloyal? Fatty Hai let out a miserable shriek. What's loyalty? I have it. Now that the situation is not good, you are the boss. If you don't step forward bravely, what kind of boss are you? When Yang saw that Fatty Hai had caught up to them, and that he wasn't slow at all, he was almost in front of her. Yu Yang kicked Fatty Hai to the ground, then pulled Yu Bing and Yu Bing along, quickly escaping from this place of trouble. When Fatty Hai struggled to get up, he realized that he was already surrounded by almost 1,000 fanatical girls. It was too late to escape now. He could only smile bitterly. Ladies, can you not slap my face? What answered him was the merciless trampling of hundreds of beautiful legs. When Yi Kong and the Li brothers saw this, they were so scared that they started to run away. If they continued to stay, they would also lose their lives. Li Gu asked Yi Kong, isn't it bad for us to run away like this? Then you want to stay? Yi Kong rolled his eyes unhappily. They were outnumbered. The most important thing to do was to preserve their strength. As for Fatty Hai, he was already dead. If they tried to save him, they would also die tragically. Li Gu shivered. Before he could reply, Li Qi interrupted. No, I think we should think of a way to bury Fatty Hai's corpse in the future. Wah, those crazy girls have split up. They're chasing us again. Run. Yu Yang brought Yu Bing and Yu Yu in a big circle before sneaking back to the arena. Countless Tian Luo Prince's supporters surrounded the arena. They were both men and women. It seemed like they wanted to use their bodies to protect their beloved Tian Luo Prince from being harmed by the perverted blind man. Tian Luo Prince is the most handsome. Tian Luo Prince is the best. Long live Tian Luo Prince. Of course, we are Tian Luo Prince's fans. The three of us siblings have decided to personally protect Tian Luo Prince. Everyone, watch closely. If you see that perverted blind man, beat him to death. The shameless Yu Yang pretended to be Tian Luo Prince's fan, shouting slogans as he squeezed into the crowd. Although he looked unfamiliar, he seemed to be a fanatical supporter as he shouted his slogans loudly. Furthermore, he had brought the two sisters with him. It seemed like he was not a bad person. The female fans of the Pink Rose Group did not see through him. The female fans of Tian Luo Prince's Pink Rose Group were only paying attention to the perverted blind man coming in. They did not notice that Yu Yang was squeezing closer and closer. Yu Yang suddenly jumped up the arena. The red-clothed referee who had been waiting helplessly hurriedly waved his hands. Student, it's fine if you shout your slogans from below. Don't go up the arena. Go down quickly. The red-clothed referee then rushed towards Tian Luo Prince, who was quietly waiting on the arena. Your Highness, it's already been 10 minutes. Please don't wait any longer. That perverted blind man will not come anymore. Isn't he here? Tian Luo Prince pointed at Yu Yang. The red-clothed referee was dumbfounded. He pointed at Yu Yang and asked in astonishment, He is that perverted blind man. Oh no, he's Student Titan? Are you really Student Titan? Your eyes, you're not blind. Are you really Student Titan? Correct answer. It's a pity there's no prize. Yu Yang revealed a bright smile. The girls of the Pink Rose Group were going crazy. This perverted blind man with bloody methods was not only not blind, he even shamelessly pretended to be a supporter of Tian Luo Prince and sneaked onto the arena. Was there anyone more despicable than this shameless person in this world? The answer was no. When the girls saw the smile on Yu Yang's face, they became even angrier. Was this considered a mockery? If it wasn't for Tian Luo Prince stopping them in time, the few hundred female fans would have rushed onto the arena and torn Yu Yang into pieces. When Tian Luo Prince reached out his hand, they immediately stopped their commotion and quieted down. He looked at Yu Yang with his clear eyes and said with a voice as gentle as the night breeze, "You're late." "Sorry, there was a traffic jam." Yu Yang shrugged his shoulders. However, in the eyes of the female fans, this was simply asking for a beating. Chapter 223. I hope to fight with you. This is my wish. Tian Luo Prince's words shocked everyone, including Yu Yu and Yu Bing. Did this Tian Luo Prince know Yu Yang? Previously, Yu Yang had only sent out a masked, evil shadow to fight. How did he know that this shadow was Yu Yang's shadow clone? Yu Yu wrinkled her eyebrows and started to ponder. Yu Bing didn't think too much about it. She knew that her brother was very strong, so she wasn't worried about him at all. After Tian Luo Prince finished speaking, he nodded towards the red-clothed referee and said, "I admit defeat for this round. He will advance to the next round. Please step down. I need to use my full strength without being restricted by the rules." He turned around and nodded towards the Rose Pink Group's hardcore fans. He waved his hand, signaling them to quiet down. "Everyone, please step back 100 meters to avoid getting hurt. I don't want anyone to stop me from fighting with him. If everyone supports me, then let me fight with all my strength." Looking at Tian Luo Prince's slightly sad eyes and his angelic plea, everyone's heart was about to break. Everyone held back their tears and stepped back. The red-clothed referee wanted to say something, but he knew that Tian Luo Prince had already made up his mind. He sighed slightly and waved his hand to signal the two linesmen and the silver-armored nurse to leave. Yu Yang also looked towards Yu and Yu Bing and nodded his head seriously. "You guys should also retreat to a safe place. No matter how intense the battle is later, don't come up." "Okay." Yu Bing had never seen her brother so serious before. She quickly pulled her sister away from the stage. When everyone had retreated 100 meters away, Yu Yang and Tian Luo Prince summoned their grimoires at the same time. Yu Yang summoned a silver grimoire, while Prince Tian Luo summoned a platinum grimoire. With the support of the two giant phantoms and the full power of his Yang ability after mastering the fire ability, this was the first time Yu Yang had used a power that was lower than that of an innate, but it was already very close to it. His aura was like that of a demon king descending upon the world. The shockwave caused the red-clothed referee, who was 50 meters away, to stagger. The red-clothed referee was so shocked that his face turned pale. As for the two assistant referees, they were even worse off. They staggered backwards from the shockwave. As for the dozen or so silver-armored guards, they had long since been sent flying by the hurricane-like aura. 100 meters away, the girls of Pink Rose were pale with fright. A small number of the flower protectors at the front had all fallen to the ground. Yu Yang, who was holding the Hui Jin magic blade, was as cold as a demon king. Purple flames were burning on the arm that was holding the blade. His other hand was using purple flames to condense a spinning wheel of fire similar to the world-exterminating wheel. In front of Yu Yang, Tian Luo Prince's entire body was like a crystal doll. His entire body had become transparent. He closed his eyes and meditated in the light barrier. From time to time, he would summon a ball of colorful light from his mouth. The light would then be added to his body, and on his back, a pair of light wings that looked like crystal butterfly wings were formed. Those crystal wings were transparent and flawless. They did not seem to have any substance at all, but they were filled with energy. Every time they flapped their wings beautifully, they seemed to be able to cause the space around them to tremble. A small elf that was only the size of a thumb was summoned by Tian Luo Prince. It flew to his forehead and disappeared into it. In an instant, a mysterious silver rune started to appear on the surface of Tian Luo Prince's skin. It was similar to the dark golden rune that appeared on Yu Yang previously, but it was different. As Tian Luo Prince slowly and beautifully opened his arms, the glorious halo on his body started to shine brightly. Countless crystals quickly condensed and covered the surface of his body, forming an incomparably beautiful crystal battle armor. What was even more strange was that the silver ancient runes on the surface of Tian Luo Prince's body would seep into the surface of the crystal battle armor, forming an even more complicated and mysterious rune circle. Everyone was dumbfounded. No one would have thought that the Bloody Titan would actually be so strong. The aura that he released was comparable to that of a level 7 overlord. Even more people couldn't imagine that Tian Luo Prince was also so strong. He actually had a platinum grimoire, crystal wings, and a crystal battle armor. He could even transform his beasts into armor. What kind of realm was this? It was said that only level 7 overlords could start to learn how to transform their beasts into armor. As for level 8 emperors, if they wanted to transform their beasts into armor, they would not be able to cover more than 30% of their bodies. Most people would not be able to transform their beasts into armor for their entire lives. At most, they could only transform their beasts into weapons. Unless it was a beast that had special skills to transform into armor, other beasts would not be able to transform into armor. Only beasts whose masters had mastered the legendary, awakened power would be able to cooperate with their masters to transform into armor. Right now, other than his flawless white, jade-like face, Tian Luo Prince's entire body was covered with a crystal battle armor. He even had a pair of incomparably beautiful crystal wings. People had never even heard of beasts that could transform into wings. If they didn't see it with their own eyes, they wouldn't dare to believe their eyes. Your Highness, the members of the Rose Pink group were all moved to tears. They liked him and supported him because he was handsome and could make people fall in love with him. It wasn't because he was strong. Because of this, everyone had always felt a tinge of regret. But now, the surprise that Tian Luo Prince had given them was too sudden. It turned out that he was 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than what they had imagined. Looking at the prince who was wearing a crystal battle armor and had crystal wings, how could they not cry tears of joy? My crystal battle armor is not perfect yet. It's a pity that I don't have the time to perfect it. Tian Luo Prince sighed regretfully. At the same time, he kept his platinum grimoire. Let's begin. I can't wait to fight with you. First slash, earth-splitting slash. Yu Yang also kept his silver grimoire and raised his Hui Jin magic blade, slashing towards Tian Luo Prince fiercely. Raging flames soared to the sky. From afar, people could see the purple flames forming a terrifying and huge flaming blade in the air. It slashed towards Tian Luo Prince's chest with an unstoppable force. At the moment when it slashed, the killing intent, fire ability, and blade aura formed a whirlpool-like explosion. The intensity of the light was comparable to that of a sun as it bloomed in Yu Yang's hands. The red-clothed referee's expression changed. Even though he had a beast to protect his body and was a level 6 elder, he was still pushed back a few steps by the unstoppable shockwave, even though he was standing 70 meters away. He couldn't imagine how powerful the attack would be at the center of the battlefield where the blade aura slashed. That was definitely a destructive attack. The red-clothed referee could tell whose famous move was the first slash, earth-splitting slash. Yu Qiu. This move was created by the Yu clan's genius warrior, Yu Qiu. Since Yu Qiu had already passed away, the one who used it should be his descendant. Although the red-clothed referee didn't know who Yu Yang was, he felt that the power of his slash was not any weaker than Yu Qiu's. It even contained a kind of fire ability that could burn the heavens. Rumble. The huge slash was deafening. Everyone's head buzzed, and they couldn't recover from it for a long time. However, the scene that unfolded on the battlefield shocked everyone. With just one hand, Tian Luo Prince had blocked Yu Yang's first slash, earth-splitting slash. Oh my god! The red-clothed referee felt that he had gone crazy. How is this possible? He didn't even need to dodge such a terrifying slash. He could block such a destructive attack with just one hand. This crystal battle armor's defense was too terrifying, wasn't it? He knew about beast armor transformation, and he had seen powerful defense before, but he definitely didn't have this kind of defense. The crystal battle armor that His Highness had awakened, what kind of beast was it? The girls from the Rose Pink group all screamed excitedly. They were overjoyed that His Highness had blocked such a powerful attack so easily. Yu and Yu Bing's expressions changed as they muttered, "Impossible!" Again, second slash. Heaven and earth collapse. Yu Yang didn't use his Hui Jin magic blade. Instead, he threw the fire wheel that he had been condensing on his left hand towards Tian Luo Prince. At the same time, he used the second slash, Heaven and Earth Collapse. The combination of the fire wheel and the sword light increased the power of the attack by a few times. This time, everyone could clearly see that Prince Tian Luo had stretched out his hand and blocked the spinning wheel of fire from the blade light. Tian Luo Prince had blocked the fire wheel, but at the same time, he was pushed back by the spinning power of the fire wheel until he slid all the way to the edge of the stage. The girls from the Rose Pink group felt their hearts clench. He had blocked the fire wheel, but he had fallen out of the stage. According to the rules, he would lose. Hiss! The sword light and the fire wheel continued to spin crazily, but it gradually disappeared. Tian Luo Prince's right leg had already been pushed out of the stage, but his left leg stopped at the edge of the stage. He lifted his feet and walked towards Yu Yang again. Because his palm was protected by the crystal, there wasn't even a scratch on his palm. The red-clothed referee felt his legs turn to jelly when he saw this. It was really unbelievable. The crystal armor had such a heaven-defying defense. Unless it was an innate rancor's attack, even a level 8 Emperor's full power attack wouldn't have any effect on it. The sword light and fire wheel just now was definitely an attack that could kill him instantly. However, the fire wheel that could kill him instantly didn't even hurt a single hair on the prince's body. Third slash, Lord of Rivers and Mountains. Yu Yang's hands slowly rotated, forming an yin-yang level 2 mysterious circle. He condensed the purple flames to its limit and turned it into a giant purple flame dragon. Then, he used thousands of sword lights as the scales of the giant dragon. His body turned into the head of the dragon, and with the power of the heavens and earth, he charged towards Tian Luo Prince. Crystal Dream. The crystal wings on Tian Luo Prince's back closed to protect him. At the same time, a rainbow-like crystal barrier expanded from his body. The purple flame dragon ferociously attacked the crystal barrier. The raging flames of the burning heavens covered the entire stage. No one could see the battle clearly. The blazing flames caused the red-clothed referee who was protecting the Rose Pink group to be in a difficult position. As for the two linesmen, they were even more exhausted. They could only block part of the flames with difficulty. If it wasn't for Yu and Yu Bing leaping in front, summoning their grimoires, and raising a barrier to block the purple flames, the spectators would have been severely injured. The consequences would have been unimaginable. When the raging flames of the burning heavens dissipated, Tian Luo Prince was still safe and sound. He wasn't injured at all. On the contrary, Yu Yang was already panting heavily. His face showed the exhaustion of a fierce battle. The 3 heavy slashes that he unleashed with all his strength had consumed a large amount of his innate chi and stamina. He knew that he was facing an opponent with an extremely strong defense, but he never thought that the defense of the crystal battle armor would be this abnormal. I really want to fight with you at your peak, but it's a pity that I don't have the time. Tian Luo Prince raised his palm. Although he was protected by the crystal, there was still a small hole in his palm. Fresh blood flowed out of the hole, forming a small trail of blood that slowly flowed down Tian Luo Prince's arm and elbow. The fresh blood and the crystal arm complemented each other, looking extremely enchanting. This was the attack of the innate invisible sword chi that Yu Yang used with his dragon tongue. Only it could break through the crystal dream, penetrate through the crystal barrier, and injure Tian Luo Prince's palm at the same time. A faint smile suddenly appeared on Tian Luo Prince's flawless white face. That smile was like the first clear day after the snow. It felt like a warm sunlight. It was light, but it was able to shine into the deepest part of one's heart and illuminate one's heart. Yu Yang had seen many beautiful women's smiles before. City Mistress Fallen Flowers' characteristic laugh, Princess Sisai's coquettish and angry laugh, Inan's joyful smile, all of them were beautiful and captivating smiles. But at this moment, all of them paled in comparison to this faint smile. Yu Yang was stunned. Do you still have the strength? Tian Luo Prince asked gently with a warm smile on his face. His voice was like a gentle breeze blowing across a lake, causing ripples in one's heart. I can still use the fourth slash, heaven and earth reversal. Yu Yang nodded his head and explained with certainty, this slash will be 10 times more powerful than the third slash. If you can still take it, then I can only fall to the ground and admit defeat. That's right, I still have the strength to take one last slash. Although it's not a battle with you at your peak, I have no regrets. Tian Luo, Prince, suddenly summoned his platinum grimoire and summoned many rainbow-like lights. They were like ribbons and sparkling stars that floated onto his body one after another. The crystal wound on Tian Luo Prince's hand quickly disappeared. More and more crystals condensed, gradually forming a huge and transparent crystal shield. The Prince of Tian Luo raised the crystal shield in front of him as a silver rune pattern appeared in his eyes. The silver runes on the crystal battle armor and the crystal shield on his body started to shine even brighter. Even the silver runes on the crystal wings on his back started to shine even brighter with this kind of defense. Yu Yang felt that even the innate Ranker Tu Cheng would not be able to break this crystal shield with his full strength. Yu Yang didn't know if he could break this crystal shield with his Nirvana Flame and world-exterminating wheel after he unsealed his innate power. He felt a tinge of regret in his heart. It was a pity that he couldn't unseal his innate power yet. Yu Yang couldn't use his Nirvana Flame and world-exterminating wheel in front of everyone. Otherwise, everyone in the arena would not be able to survive, including his cousin Yu Yu and sister Yu Bing. This is the last slash. Yu Yang could barely use the fourth slash, heaven and earth reversal, because he hadn't fully understood the meaning of the sword yet. However, this wasn't important. Yu Yang knew that the fourth slash wouldn't be able to break the crystal shield. The only thing that could make a difference was the innate invisible sword chi. The fourth slash was just a cover. The real attack would be the invincible innate invisible sword chi. Yes, this will be the last battle. In the eyes of the Tian Luo Prince, there was a tinge of sadness that couldn't be concealed by any power. This sadness was even more powerful than the innate invisible sword chi. The moment it appeared, it left a scar in Yu Yang's heart that couldn't be removed. The Tian Luo Prince's smile and frown were peerless and unparalleled. It was like a short-lived, blooming cactus, and when he looked back, it was already a beautiful and poignant song. Yu Yang suddenly roared like a mad tiger. He jumped high into the air. The raging flames that were burning on his body followed Yu Yang's body and rushed towards the sky like a dragon. He reached a height of 10 meters and quickly reversed the flow. The purple flames and Yu Yang turned into a divine dragon that could destroy heaven and earth. It rushed towards the Tian Luo Prince who was holding up the crystal shield to devour it. Ah, idiot, stop! Luo Hua City Mistress and Princess Qian suddenly appeared. Both of them looked extremely anxious. Princess Qian had even released her greatest power, bringing along thousands of sword chi as she shot over like lightning, intending to stop the final battle between the two. Chapter 2:24. The dragon god's head collided with the crystal shield, causing a bright light to shine as if a galaxy had exploded. No matter how strong the purple flames and the blade light were, they were unable to move the crystal shield at all. Only the innate invisible sword chi could be used. Under Yu Yang's mysterious brandishing of the innate sword chi, the ancient runes were instantly imprinted on the crystal shield. The ancient runes and the silver runes on the crystal shield formed a new runic circle. Tian Luo Prince, who was holding the crystal shield to defend against Yu Yang's full power attack, suddenly smiled. This smile was filled with gratification, as if he was a dying person who had completed his last wish. When the smile bloomed, the crystal shield silently disintegrated, turning into countless crystal fragments that fluttered in the air. Then, it turned back into a rainbow-colored energy light and returned to Tian Luo Prince's body. Yu Yang's finger was on Tian Luo Prince's forehead, but he held back his last attack, not wanting to kill this Tian Luo Prince. Princess Qian broke through the purple flame and blade radiance. She was even faster than lightning as she flew towards Yu Yang on her sword. She crossed paths with Yu Yang in midair as she waved her fists, changing from a straight punch to a sweep. She sent Yu Yang, who was pressing his finger on the Tian Luo prince's forehead, flying away. City Mistress Fallen Flowers pulled Yu Bing and Yu Yu along with her. After the shockwave spread, the three girls rushed towards the arena at the same time. Tian Luo Prince covered his mouth with his hand, and blood appeared between his fingers. The blood dripped onto the crystal battle armor in front of his chest. It was a ghastly sight. Princess Sisai spun in midair and landed on the ground, wanting to hug Tian Luo Prince anxiously. Yu Yang had already teleported back. He reached out his hand and hugged Tian Luo Prince's swaying body before she could. He sighed, "Why did you do this? Although I don't like to fight, it is my wish to fight with you." Tian Luo Prince's bright eyes seemed to be smiling, but blood flowed from his lips. "Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and leave this place. All of you are just messing around." Princess Sisai quickly unfurled a silver teleportation scroll. The teleportation gate rose. Princess Qian Qian turned around and brought Yu Yu and Yu Bing, who had just jumped onto the stage, into the teleportation gate. City Lord Fallen Flowers also hurriedly followed and signaled Yu Yang to hurry up. When Yu Yang carried Prince Tian Luo into the teleportation gate, the old cunning fox suddenly descended from the sky. He raised a crystal staff high up in the air, memory deprivation. A white light comparable to the sun illuminated the entire arena. All the girls of the rose pink group fell to the ground, including the red-clothed referee, the assistant referee, and the silver armor guards. When they woke up after a long time, they realized that the arena had been razed to the ground. The peerless prince of Tian Luo stood in the center of the slightly sunken ground. Even the most attentive person would not be able to tell the difference between this prince of Tian Luo and the prince of Tian Luo that Yu Yang was carrying just now. The only difference between the two of them was that this prince of Tian Luo did not have a trace of sadness in his eyes. This prince of Tian Luo summoned his gold grimoire and a ball of light with a fairy's image inside. He threw the ball of light into the sky until it reached the top of the clouds. Following that, a rain of faint white light descended. It silently nourished every spectator who had a splitting headache, greatly alleviating their pain. Prince Tian Luo bowed to everyone gracefully. "Thank you everyone for your support. It's a pity that I have to stop at the top 100 competition. If everyone doesn't mind, I would like to be a spectator with everyone. When there are no competitions, I suggest that everyone take a walk at the beach and enjoy the pleasant sea breeze." Before Prince Tian Luo could finish his sentence, the girls of the Rose Pink group had already started cheering excitedly. This was something that had never happened before. In the past, the Prince of Tian Luo, who always looked sad, would never suggest to bring everyone out to play. Even when everyone invited him to various activities, he would tactfully decline. However, after stopping at the top 100 competition, it seemed that the pressure on him had completely disappeared. His mood became better, and he even took the initiative to suggest taking a walk at the beach with everyone. How could everyone not be ecstatic? Except for one person, the red-clothed referee who was the strongest. He faintly remembered that the prince used a platinum grimoire. How did it become a gold grimoire? Furthermore, this prince seemed a little. The red-clothed referee slapped the back of his head. He was thinking too much. Could it be that the prince was faking it? He must have been shaken by the shockwave from the explosion, and his brain was in a mess. The old cunning fox stood beside the red-clothed referee and observed his eyes. Seeing that the red-clothed referee was no longer suspicious, he immediately smiled. "Your Highness, thank you for letting us win. Student Titan from our Ivy Academy has won. You should quickly report it to the higher-ups. All right, this arena has been destroyed. We have to clean it up. Stop the rest of the competition and let people repair the arena first. Student Titan has won. My battle record." The red-clothed referee was confused. Why did he not have any recollection of the competition that he had watched before? It's over. If people knew that he had lost his memory of the competition after suffering concussion, he would definitely be removed from his position as a referee. The old cunning fox grinned as he handed over a record. Isn't this? You dropped it on the ground. When the red-clothed referee saw that it was his handwriting, he was immediately overjoyed. Luckily, he had recorded down the entire process. After roughly scanning through the record, he realized that the fight between student Tai Tan and the prince was very exciting. Both of them had summoned a lion, a tiger, and a golden eagle. In the end, student Tai Tan was more skilled and used his family's ultimate skill, First Slash, Earth-splitting slash, to knock the prince out of the arena and win. This record made the red-clothed referee feel both confused and familiar at the same time. He could not remember any lion, tiger, or golden eagle at all. However, he still had some memory of the First Slash, Earth-splitting slash. Forget it, it's fine as long as I get the record back. The red-clothed referee signed his name on the record and added a winner symbol on top of Tai Tan's name. When the old cunning fox saw this, he laughed. He laughed like an old cunning fox who had just stolen a chick. The Prince of Tian Luo, who was leading the crowd away, turned his head back unintentionally. He called for the girls from the Rose group to follow him while looking at the old cunning fox. After that, the two of them nodded at each other from afar and left. Yu Yang carried the Prince of Tian Luo, whose crystal armor and crystal wings had gradually disappeared and returned to his original form. He followed Princess Sisai and City Mistress Fallen Flowers through the teleportation gate and entered a beautiful world filled with butterflies and flowers. A soft fragrance blew across the land. There was a faint sound of nature that could not be heard, but it sounded from the bottom of their hearts, as if it was being sung by thousands of flower fairies. Princess Sisai led the way in front, while City Mistress Fallen Flowers signaled Yu Yang to follow them. Very soon, they arrived at a small manor. Before they even entered the door, a refreshing fragrance assaulted their noses, making them feel refreshed. Where is this? Yu Yang was curious. This place was filled with spiritual energy. It was a good place to train. Why was there no one living here? Idiot, this is the small garden to enter the heaven stairway. It is also the inner valley of the Valley of Butterflies and hundreds of flowers. There is another space that is similar to the dual space, but it is very big. It is estimated to be 1/10 of the size of the soaring dragon continent. More accurately, this is the entrance to the heaven stairway. Princess Sisai rushed to open the door and rushed in with familiarity. Yu Yang followed her in and gently placed the person in his arms on the bed. When Yu Bing saw this, she cried out in surprise. How did the prince become my sister? How is she a prince? Yu Yang knew who she was with one look at her eyes. In this world, other than her, there would not be a second person who would have this kind of eyes. You knew it wasn't her, yet you still fought with her? Princess Sisai was furious. Yes, I was the one who asked him to attack. I also wanted to fight with him. Living a few more days doesn't mean much to me. Verifying the runes is my biggest wish. My guess was not wrong. I have no more regrets. The Prince of Tian Luo on the bed gradually turned into a beautiful lady with silky black hair and a pale face. Her appearance was 10 times more beautiful than when she was disguised as a man. She was so beautiful that it could cause the downfall of cities and countries. She was so beautiful that it was almost suffocating. Her bright eyes had a kind of lovely radiance that could break a person's heart. Her swan-like jade neck, sparkling and translucent arms, and fingers were all stained with dark red blood. However, it did not affect her charm. Instead, it gave Yu Yang the feeling of a flower blooming and withering, flourishing at its peak, and falling petals in profusion. You have recovered from your illness. Can't you slowly verify it? You guys are just messing around. Princess Sisai originally wanted to scold them, but she endured it and glared at Yu Yang hatefully. That's enough. Qian, calm down. City Mistress Fallen Flowers quickly comforted Princess Sisai. Yu Yang, go out for a while. I want to talk to them. She who was on the bed had a special smile in her eyes. She stretched out her white and soft hand and gestured to Yu Yang to stop talking. Her voice was like the fragrant breeze outside the garden, making it hard for people to reject her, just for a while. You go out first. If Wu Xia comes, ask her to wait outside too. Yu Yang nodded slightly. When he walked out of the living room, He realized that the mysterious beauty who loved to read was already standing outside quietly. The mysterious beauty seemed to be waiting for him, and also seemed to be waiting for the person inside to call out to her. The two of them looked at each other and did not speak for a long time. After a long time, the mysterious beauty finally spoke. I saw everything. It's not your fault. The only thing we need to do now is to think of a way to save her. Yang thought for a while and asked softly, Nirvana's flame, I only know that method. Is that okay? The mysterious beauty did not answer, but she tacitly agreed with Yu Yang's method. What exactly is the relationship between the two of you? Yu Yang was confused about the relationship between the mysterious beauty, Princess Sisai, and Castellan Fallen Flowers. They definitely knew each other, and they should have known each other since they were young. They were not sisters, but they were like sisters. They might even be relatives. However, in reality, their identities were different. It made Yu Yang confused. Why do you care about this? You should care about yourself. The mysterious beauty glared at Yu Yang. The mysterious beauty's eyes were very similar to the person inside. However, the mysterious beauty was more energetic. She was quiet like a virgin, but agile like a rabbit. As for the person inside, her eyes were more elegant and quiet. When she was lonely, there was a deep sadness hidden in her eyes. Yu Yang actually wanted to ask about the mysterious beauty's identity. However, he was afraid that he would be disappointed if he asked. Virgo Temple, I might be able to help you a little. You should finish the 100-school elite tournament first. Because the 4 great clans were gradually becoming stronger, the 4 great sects felt that their influence was getting smaller. Hence, they used this 100-school elite tournament to create trouble. I won't participate in it. You should beat that junior, elder, and Prince of Zijin back. The mysterious beauty suddenly used the ant language to send a message to Yu Yang. Can you help me? Just be a bad guy for once. What? Yu Yang sweated profusely when he heard this. So mysterious. Did this girl want him to rob the warrior's bank or assassinate the king? Don't play dumb. The mysterious beauty saw that this brat's face was filled with astonishment. She thought that he was trying to fool her. She immediately picked up her book angrily and prepared to beat him up. However, when she saw that Yu Yang really didn't understand, she suddenly stopped and warned him with a very soft voice. Don't ever say that it was my idea. Just admit that you were a bad guy. The one who wanted to do bad things is you, understand? What are you talking about? Yu Yang realized that he couldn't understand her at all. I've seen idiots before, but I've never seen an idiot like you. The mysterious beauty was so angry that she was about to go berserk. You, don't tell me that you want me to go. Yu Yang suddenly came to a realization. He was instantly dumbstruck by the mysterious beauty's strong idea. If I do that, wouldn't I become a sinner for all eternity? Chapter 225. On the bed, sickly beauty allowed Yu Yang to enter. She kept looking at him without saying a word. Yu Yang felt a little guilty when she looked at him. He didn't feel guilty at first, but after the mysterious beauty's seduction that was comparable to the snake from the Garden of Eden, there was always a kind of evil thought that lingered in his heart for a long time. Furthermore, sickly beauty's eyes seemed to be able to see through people's hearts, so he felt a little guilty. What did Wu Xia tell you? Sickly beauty asked. I told you about floating Mist Young sect leader and Prince of Zijin. Under normal circumstances, Yu Yang wouldn't tell the truth. If he did, it would mean that he was hiding an even more important secret. And sickly beauty looked at Yu Yang with an inexplicable smile. We talked about your problem. We were discussing how to cure you. Right now, Yu Yang was behaving like an obedient child. In fact, he was thinking about the mysterious beauty's words, I want you to be a bad guy for once. Yu Yang naturally knew what it meant to be a bad person. Sickly beauty blinked her big eyes and said something that made no sense. That won't work. It will only make things more complicated. Don't listen to her. Yu Yang didn't understand. What? Sickly beauty waved her hand lightly. Have you learned how to use beast armor yet? Hearing that she had changed the topic, Yu Yang felt relieved and hurriedly shook his head. I've comprehended a little, but I'm afraid that I'll still need to fumble around for a long time before I can actually transform into armor. Furthermore, I don't know which beast is the best to transform into armor. Sickly Beauty gave the best answer. The higher the potential and the higher the intelligence of the humanoid beast, the higher the fusion rate and the stronger the combat power. But the difficulty level is very high. Right now, you could try using lower-level beasts. Actually, your spirit awakening is very good, but you don't know how to use it. Maybe you need some guidance. After a few days, when I've recovered, you can come again. By the way, Qin Xian and the rest said that you don't speak the truth, but I feel that you are actually very honest. It's just that you like to pretend to be a liar. It's not good for you to seal your heart like this, as it will affect your cultivation. Therefore, you will encounter a strong obstacle in the Virgo temple. If you can figure this out, the Virgo temple will actually be the easiest temple to pass. When Yu Yang heard this, he was stunned. Come back in a few days. I'm too tired now. Sickly Beauty closed her eyes tiredly. Yu Yang gently pulled the quilt for her and tucked it in. When he was about to turn around and leave, Sickly Beauty did not open her eyes and suddenly asked, "Do you think Wu Xia and I look alike?" What? Yu Yang did not know why she would ask this. Was she trying to test him? There's nothing else. You can go now. Sickly Beauty's eyes were still open, but there was a slight smile on her lips, as if she was secretly laughing. This made Yu Yang confused. What did she mean by asking this question without any rhyme or reason? She was still secretly laughing. It was really puzzling. When he walked out of the door, the mysterious beauty was waiting outside again. Without waiting for Yu Yang to speak, her eyes flashed the same kind of light as Sickly Beauty's eyes. She suggested in a very soft voice, "Let's go out for a walk." Of course, Yu Yang was more than happy to do so. Princess Sisai and the rest did not add to the chaos. They all sat around in another room, not knowing what they were talking about. Seeing Yu Yang and the mysterious beauty going out, City Mistress Fallen Flowers, Princess Sisai, and Yu all glanced at them, intentionally or unintentionally. After quietly accompanying the mysterious beauty for a long time, Yu Yang was prepared to ask her identity, because he was really too curious. However, the mysterious beauty turned her face slightly and asked, "You actually know who I am, right?" "No, I don't know." Yu Yang hurriedly pretended to be confused. "How do you explain that matter?" The mysterious beauty directly jumped to another question. "What matter?" Yu Yang's heart thumped. Here it comes. As expected, that matter still came. He had not investigated that matter clearly, so he could not answer her. "Forget it. We didn't know each other before this. Even if it was true, I won't blame you, let alone if it's fake." The mysterious beauty seemed to not want to investigate further. Yu Yang's heart was at ease. Luckily, she did not pursue the matter. However, the mysterious beauty's next sentence almost made Yu Yang's heart fly out, because the mysterious beauty asked, "In your heart, do you like Sister Fallen Flowers or Qian Qian more?" This question was a trap. It was not good to answer either one. Yu Yang could only pretend not to hear it. If it was possible, Yu Yang actually wanted to tell her that in his heart, he liked the mysterious her more. Yu Yang opened his mouth, but in the end, he stopped the words that rushed to his lips. Now is not the time yet. As a guy from another world, his identity was still a crisis. If Yu Qiu did not die, if the pitiful guy's mother came back, would he be able to hide it from the pitiful guy's biological parents? At that time, what would his relationship with the girls be like? Unless they liked him and not Yu Qiu's son, Yu Yang would not be able to give them a promise. This was also the reason why Yu Yang was more willing to accept Anan. Anan liked him. It was not because of his identity at all. The two of them did not know each other, became complete strangers, met each other by chance, and then gradually fell in love with each other. Although their feelings were not earth-shattering, Anan's heart was secretly in love with him. Even if he did not replace the pitiful guy, even if he did not have the identity of a descendant of the four great clans and Yu Qiu's son, she would still like him. Yu Yang absolutely believed in Anan. However, if one day his identity was exposed and he was no longer the pitiful guy, would Princess Sisai, City Mistress Fallen Flowers, and the mysterious beauty still treat him like this? Maybe they would, but Yu Yang did not have 100% confidence. After all, the amount of time he had spent with them was really too little. He had to spend more time and experience more with them before he could be at ease. You are thinking too much. Actually, we are not like what you think. The mysterious beauty's voice gradually softened, faintly discernible. We are all simple people. We do not participate in politics, nor do we crave for fame. Other than training, we have nothing else. We are all lonely like you. Maybe that's why we came together and felt that we have a common language. No matter if it is fallen flowers, chin, or I, we are not good at expressing ourselves. In terms of emotions, we are all clumsy. Of course, you're also the same. We are wary of each other, afraid of hurting each other, and also afraid of being hurt by each other. Let's not talk about this. The road ahead is still very long. Let's walk slowly. Actually, I have my reasons. Yu Yang knew that the mysterious beauty was hinting that he was not proactive enough because he was a man. In fact, Yu Yang was very proactive. For example, when he was pursuing Anan, he spared no effort. However, the identities of Princess Sisai, Castellan Fallen Flowers, and the mysterious beauty were too special. It might not be a problem for him to be with them now, but if they knew the truth in the future, the consequences would be unimaginable for Yu Yang. He could not say that he was a man from another world, and that he was just a man from another world who had replaced someone else's identity. If he said that, then everything would be over. After listening to him, the mysterious beauty turned her face and looked at Yu Yang with eyes as clear as spring water. Then, she slowly let out a soundless smile like a stream. Secret? Who doesn't? One day, you will understand that those things are not important. Let's go back. You have a match in the afternoon. Yu Yang kind of understood the mysterious beauty's intentions. She was hinting that no matter what secrets Yu Yang had, she did not care. However, did she really not care about the fact that he had transmigrated and replaced someone else's identity? Thinking of this, Yu Yang still did not have the confidence. He stared fixedly at the mysterious beauty's veiled face. Looking at the forgiving look in her eyes, his heart was filled with warmth. There were many beauties in the soaring dragon continent, but she was the best one he had ever met in his life. She had a tacit understanding with him. They did not need to say much to understand each other. She would share life and death with him. Ever since he saw her, he had a special feeling, as if they were destined to be a couple in their previous lives. However, the more it was like this, the more Yu Yang was afraid of losing her. He was even more afraid that she would leave him. Hence, he would rather keep the secret of transmigrating to his death than tell her about it. He would not let her know the truth. When the time was right, he would bring her Qian, Fallen Flowers, and the others, leave the soaring dragon continent, and head towards Tong Tian Tower. He would abandon his previous identity and live a new life. Of course, the prerequisite for doing that was that he must have strong abilities. You don't speak, but I know what you want to say. The mysterious beauty nodded and waved her hand at Yu Yang. I'm leaving first. You can say goodbye to Qian and the others. I will go back and think about how to help you pass through the Virgo Temple. Can I call you Wu Xia? Yu Yang asked her before she walked into the teleportation gate. You have a big mouth. Can I stop you? The mysterious beauty turned around and smiled. Her smile was like the sun dispelling the clouds and completely illuminating Yu Yang's heart. The knot in his heart was untied in an instant. He felt relaxed and full of confidence. Yes, he must have this girl who loved to read books. No matter what identity he had, he must not let her go. She belonged to him. She had already given him the chance to pursue her. Why was he still hesitating? He should just love her to his heart's content. What identity? To hell with it all. He liked her, no matter what her identity was, no matter what the people around him thought of her. If he missed such a good girl like her, he would suffer the wrath of the heavens. He must not let her go. Since he liked her, he would dominate her. He would dominate her forever. Until the end of time, the knot in Yu Yang's heart was untied. He regained his relaxed smile and waved his hand at the mysterious beauty. Girl, just you wait. I will tell you one day. Looking at Yu Yang, who came back with a face full of smiles, Princess Sisai felt a little sour in her heart. She pulled Yu Yang to one side. What did you guys talk about? You want to know? Yu Yang stated his condition. If a certain tigress kisses me gently, I will consider if I should tell you. Dream on. Princess Sisai was so angry that her teeth itched. She really wanted to beat this brat up, but City Mistress Fallen Flowers, Yu and Yu Bing were all peeping at her. She couldn't do anything, so she could only warn him in a low voice. Brat, don't let me get the chance. Otherwise, I will definitely teach you a lesson. Yu Yang laughed when he heard that. Your Highness, other than being pushed down, I am not afraid of anything else. City Mistress Fallen Flowers saw that Princess Isai was so angry that her face was red, but she couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't help but laugh. She laughed so hard that her shoulders shook and her petals trembled. Secretly, she gave Yu Yang a thumbs up. Princess Isai and Yu stayed behind to take care of Sickly Beauty. At the same time, they comprehended the awakening of beast armor transformation. They didn't follow Yu Yang back to Champion Island. Luo, Hua City's mistress, was very generous. She had the reputation of personal guard captain going to compete in the tournament. Only by attending and supporting him would she not lose her city mistress demeanor. Thus, she naturally accompanied Yu Yang back. Along with them was Yu Bing, who had not realized that she was a third wheel. Yu Bing once again used her lucky hand and drew a good lot for herself. She was assigned to Group D, which had almost no strong opponents. However, Yu Yang's luck wasn't that good. Among the 4 groups A, B, C, and D, he was assigned to Group B, which was known as the Group of Death. Among the 10 people in Group B, there was Xue Tanlang from the Xue clan, Floating Miss Sex Junior Elder by Yun Fei, Western Lion Pagoda's #1 disciple, Prince of Zijin, Dragon Ambassador Kan Lan Yu from the Eastern Ocean Crystal Palace, Xie Qian Ren from the Xie clan, Lai Ban from the Lai clan. When this Group of Death was drawn, all the contestants sucked in a breath of cold air. It turned out that the competition in Group B was even more difficult than the finals. However, the audience was wild with joy. The more experts fought, the more exciting it was to watch. Yu Yang drew another lot. His first opponent was Xie Qian Ren from the Xie clan, and his second opponent was the winner between Xue Tanlang and Lai Ban. City Mistress Fallen Flowers laughed out loud and patted his shoulder. I know what's going on. You must have touched Qian last time and haven't washed your hands yet. Ha ha ha. Chapter 226. After Group B had drawn lots, Yu Yang and his rival in love, Xie Qianren, were ranked 5th. Yu Bing was ranked 4th in Group D. Her opponent wasn't considered strong, so Yu Yang wasn't worried about her advancing. He was preparing to go with Fallen Flowers to see how the Floating Mist Sex Junior sect leader by Yun Fei and Prince of Zijin were going to fight against each other. Unexpectedly, before he left the private room, he saw Yi Kong and Fatty Hai, who looked as if he had just lost his only son. Yu Yang asked curiously, "What's wrong with his boss? Didn't he say that he was going to challenge the junior sect leader and Prince of Zijin? He doesn't have the chance anymore." Yi Kong shrugged his shoulders. His stinky hand has already drawn Yin Pajun in the first round. It can't be. Yu Yang felt sad for Fatty Hai when he heard this. If his opponent wasn't Yin Pajun, Fatty Hai might be able to fight 2 more rounds. Facing one of the 3 great killing stars, Yin Pajun, no matter how hard Fatty Hai worked, he wouldn't be Yin Pajun's opponent. The Li brothers added, even if Fatty Hai doesn't go against Yin Pajun this round, he wouldn't be able to pass the next round, because the next round is against the Dragon Spear Girl. Yu Yang suddenly understood. No wonder Fatty Hai looked as if he had just lost his only son. It turned out that he couldn't be any more desperate to advance from his group. Fatty Hai looked as if his spine had been pulled out as he slumped weakly on his chair. He said weakly, "You guys don't know this, but I'm preparing a chase after a little girl. I even gave her a ticket to watch my match. If she saw that I was beaten to a pulp by Yin Pajun, she probably wouldn't even look at me from the corner of her eyes. It wasn't easy for me, your boss. It wasn't easy for a little girl to accept my ticket. Who would have thought that my fate would be so tragic? About this, if you use the hippo meteor punch that I taught you, maybe..." Yang wanted to say something, but stopped. "Maybe I can defeat Yin Pajun?" Fatty Hai jumped up and asked in surprise. Maybe he would lose a little slower. As soon as Yu Yang said this, Fatty Hai's huge body fell to the ground with a loud rumble. He lay on the ground, completely unconscious. In order to comfort Fatty High's wounded heart, everyone decided to watch his match and support him. Of course, Fatty High felt that everyone was going to watch him make a fool of himself, so he strongly opposed it. With a wave of his hand, Yu Yang set off. Fatty High's resolute objection was ignored by everyone. This made him feel even more hurt, especially when he saw the little girl that he had given the ticket to and a group of other girls surrounding Yin Pejun, asking for his autograph. Their excited screams were like the climax, causing Fatty High to tear up even more. This battle hadn't even started, and they had already been utterly defeated. Of course, the reason why Yin Pejun was so popular was because Prince Tianluo had brought his Pink Rose group back to Tianluo Imperial City. Otherwise, Fatty High wouldn't be the only one crying. Yin Pejun would also be crying. Now that Prince Tianluo had left, the girls couldn't possibly follow him like the Pink Rose group, so they could only choose another handsome guy to support. Yin Pejun was one of the 3 great killing stars, so the girls would definitely scream excitedly when they saw him. Everyone, let me go on stage first. I'll give everyone an autograph later. Yin Pejun waved his hands at the girls. What's there to compete with a fat pig? Hurry up and roast him. I can't wait any longer. The little girl that Fatty High had given the ticket to winked at Yin Pejun and acted like a spoiled child. When Fatty High heard this, he fell to the ground and started foaming at the mouth, his legs twitching. City Mistress Fallenflower saw this and was a little worried. She asked Yu Yang to go and persuade Fatty High to accept it. Yu Yang waved his hands. Don't worry, he gets rejected once a day on average. This kind of blow is nothing to him. Let's not care about him and find a seat to watch the match. City Mistress Fallenflowers asked curiously, does Fatty still want to compete? Yu Yang laughed and nodded. The more it is like this, the more he will be able to fight. Luo Hua City Mistress saw that Fatty High was indeed like a crazy gambler who had lost his family's fortune. His eyes were bloodshot as he rushed up the stage, rubbing his palms together, preparing to fight Yin Pejun to the death. He looked like a mad dog. Even if he couldn't defeat Yin Pejun, he would still bite off a piece of meat from his opponent. Yin Pejun walked onto the stage amidst the cheers of the girls. When he saw that his opponent was Fatty High, he confidently raised a finger. Against you, I only need one move. I'll finish you off in 10 seconds. Really? Fatty High didn't get angry, but laughed instead. He summoned his bronze grimoire and raised his light shield. Yin Pejun was immediately embarrassed. He didn't think that Fatty High actually had a grimoire. In the past, Fatty High's summoning speed was extremely slow. Yin Pejun's younger brother had knocked Fatty High off the stage within 10 seconds. This was also the fastest record. Yin Pejun didn't think that Fatty High would improve so much in just 3 days. His summoning speed was actually very close to his own. However, Yin Pejun didn't even have a summoning grimoire. He only took out 2 crystals and summoned a flaming lion and a raging leopard. He didn't even use his true strength, because he felt that 2 bronze-ranked level 3 beasts were more than enough to deal with Fatty High. If it was in the past, the flaming lion and raging leopard would definitely be able to torture Fatty High to death, and then torture him to death now. Yu Yang smiled slightly. If Fatty High used his full strength, then Yin Pejun would really be a little troublesome. Luo Hua City Mistress saw Fatty High summon a strengthening-type iron-skinned rhinoceros and a strengthening-type hippopotamus, strengthening them together. Fatty High's fat body suddenly became strong, and his muscles bulged out. Even his bulging belly had bulged out. She asked Yu Yang in surprise, "You taught him double strengthening?" Yu Yang shook his head. He still can't learn the true double strengthening. This is at most a superposition of strengthening. If double strengthening can increase the power by 10 times, he can only increase the power by 2 times at most. He's still far from that. That's not bad. Normally, a warrior's superposition of 2 types of strengthening would have negative side effects. It's already very good that he could eliminate that side effect. City Mistress Fallen Flowers praised. "Little girl, that's because I taught him well." Yu Yang reminded her to praise herself. On the stage, Fatty High's skin was like that of a rhinoceros. His muscles were filled with explosive power. At this moment, his body was even bigger, like a huge monster. His aura made him look like a bloodthirsty giant. Yin Pejun looked relaxed on the surface, but he was secretly on guard. As the referee waved his hand, the battle officially began. Fatty Hai kept his grimoire. Without waiting for the flaming lion and raging leopard to pounce on him, he leapt up high like a toad, smashing his body towards Yin Pejun. Yin Pejun's gaze turned cold. Countless flames shot up to the sky like a volcano eruption. Hippo Meteor Fist. Fatty Hai roared. His huge body moved along with his fist, smashing down heavily like a meteor. This is the Tortoise King Fist, right? Yin Pejun coldly laughed. Who could such a slow punch hit? He nimbly somersaulted and retreated. Amidst the raging flames, the raging leopard's speed was the fastest. It had already leapt up and pounced towards Fatty Hai, who was in midair. It fiercely bit towards Fatty Hai's throat. With its strong bite strength, it could easily bite off a wild bull's leg. Yin Pejun felt that as long as it wrapped itself around Fatty Hai, the battle would end. Moreover, there was still the flaming lion that had a stronger bite strength following closely behind. Fatty Hai suddenly stretched out his hand. That hand was shockingly fast and ingeniously pressed on the raging leopard's head. His body accelerated, and he really flew over 10 meters like a meteor. In an instant, he caught up to Yin Pejun, who was retreating. His fist that was filled with power smashed onto Yin Pejun's lower abdomen with an unstoppable force. It easily shattered Yin Pejun's protective ring of fire. His fist then moved upwards, straight towards Yin Pejun's heart. Boom! An explosion sounded. Yin Pejun's entire body was thrown backwards like a cannonball, flying out of the range of the stage. The flaming lion and raging leopard turned around and pounced towards him, but they were hit by Fatty Hai's wild bull fist, easily sending the lion and leopard flying into the air. Seeing this scene, everyone couldn't believe their eyes. Even the judge on the stage was dumbstruck. Yin Pejun was actually defeated by an unknown fatty? How is this possible? Yin Pejun was one of the 3 great killing stars, a strong contender for the championship. How could he be defeated by a fatty? Yin Pejun waved his hand in midair, igniting a raging flame. His entire body floated in the air. Just as he was about to land on the ground, he once again rose into the air. Yin Pejun flew back to the stage. Before Fatty Hai rushed over, Yin Pejun had already summoned his silver grimoire. Some of the spectators who didn't understand the situation were still cheering for Yin Pejun's easy return to the stage. However, the sharp-eyed warriors understood that Yin Pejun had already lost his ability to fight. Otherwise, he wouldn't need to summon his grimoire to protect himself. Even though Yin Pejun tried his best to hide it and swallowed the blood that was surging up his throat, there was still a trace of blood that flowed down the corner of his mouth. It dripped onto the silver grimoire. When everyone saw this, they were indescribably shocked. Could it be that the fatty's punch could heavily injure Yin Pejun? Yu Yang, who was in the private room, laughed. This tactic was meticulously designed by Yu Yang. At first, it wasn't targeted at Yin Pejun, but Fatty Hai changed it slightly and used it on Yin Pejun. Because Yin Pejun underestimated Fatty Hai, he fell into Fatty Hai's trap and suffered a great loss. It was a pity that Fatty Hai couldn't use double strengthening right now. Otherwise, Yin Pejun's injuries would be even more serious. This fatty is quite cunning, but this tactic can only be used once. It won't work next time. That's right. Why is there something wrong with the wild ox fist that hit the lion and leopard? The wild ox fist doesn't seem to need to turn around, right? Moreover, the power isn't that strong. Didn't you modify it yourself? City Mistress Fallen Flowers' eyesight was very accurate. With one look, she could tell that Fatty Hai's move to repel the leopard and lion looked ordinary on the surface, but it was actually very powerful. With Fatty Hai's intelligence, he probably wouldn't be able to modify such a move. Hence, she was 90% sure that it was Yu Yang who modified it. That move is called rhinoceros gazing at the moon. Fatty Hai's right fist has the strength of a rhinoceros, and his left fist has the strength of a hippopotamus. The effect is SOSO. If he could combine the strength of a rhinoceros and hippopotamus, I believe that the power would increase by at least 10 times. If the raging leopard and the flaming lion were hit by the double strengthening, they would definitely be killed instantly. Yeong was very happy that Fatty High's combat skills were not bad. However, he had only trained for a short period of time, so he wasn't able to reach the standards in his heart. After recovering for a full 2 minutes, Yin Pujun finally recovered completely. He first summoned his guardian beast, the Flaming Lion King, and then summoned a flame monster and a fire-spitting snake, one on his left and one on his right. Then, he stared coldly at Fatty High and snorted, "I didn't think that Student High's patience would not be inferior to third young master Yu's." Even Yin Pujun was almost defeated. I will remember this lesson of underestimating my enemy for the rest of my life. Next, I hope that Brother Hai will give me some pointers. The raging leopard and flaming lion that had been injured by Fatty Hai earlier also limped back to their master's side and growled at Fatty Hai. Just when everyone thought that Fatty Hai would be killed by the furious Yin Pujun, Fatty Hai suddenly jumped off the stage and landed on the ground with a paw sound. He then used Yin Pujun's confident hand gesture. "I admit defeat. Student Pujun, take your time to perform." Yin Pujun was so angry that his face became distorted. The little girls who were watching the fight started to jeer, scolding Fatty Hai for being vulgar, despicable, and shameless. However, Fatty Hai immediately gave them a middle finger as an answer. This Fatty used to be very timid, right? How would he dare to be like this? It must be you, the boss, who has led him astray. City Mistress Fallen Flowers couldn't stop laughing when she saw this. She laughed so hard that her body almost collapsed onto Yu Yang's shoulder. Yu Yang hurriedly protected her, lightly hugging her slender waist. He took advantage of her as he corrected her. He is the boss, if we count according to weight. Chapter 227. Fatty Hai originally wanted to fight to the death with Yin Pujun. However, after punching Yin Pujun and dispelling most of his anger, he clearly felt that there was no point in fighting to the death with Yin Pujun now, because there was still the team competition later on. He knew that Yang would definitely fight to the death with Bai Yun Fei and Prince of Zijin. Moreover, he still had to challenge the Virgo Temple. It was uncertain if he and Princess Sisai would be able to participate in the team competition. Hence, he still had to fight with Yi Kong and the others in the 100 Schools Elite Tournament. Because of this, the Li brothers gave up on participating in the individual competition. They wanted to preserve their strength for the team competition. When Fatty Hai thought of this, he stopped while he was ahead and gave up on fighting to the death with Yin Pujun. If everyone fought to the death, would it still be right for a little girl like Yu Bing to handle the most difficult and cruel team competition? Although he was despised by everyone, Fatty Hai was still full of smiles as he returned to Yi Kong and the Li brothers in a good mood. The first thing he did was to brag. How was it? Wasn't my hippo meteor punch powerful? I even started to worship myself. Haha, one of the 3 great killing stars, Yin Pujun, was sent flying by my punch. Awesome, really awesome. If Yi Yang didn't teach you, you wouldn't even be a piece of trash. Yi Kong looked at Fatty Hai in disdain. He thought to himself, why don't you take a look at how useless you were in the past? Let's go. As the boss, I've won a great battle. Of course I'll treat everyone to a meal. Where's that brat Yu Yang? Fatty Hai decided to be merciful and treat everyone to a meal. He's currently flirting with City Mistress Fallen Flowers. The two of them are having a wonderful time. It's not that I didn't warn you, but if you disturb them now, you'll just be courting death. Yi Kong felt that forget about Yu Yang. Even if he was flirting with Fatty Hai, he would definitely kill him if Fatty Hai came to disturb them. Then forget it. He has a beauty in his hands and a heart full of warmth. He probably won't remember to eat. Fatty Hai shuddered and quickly changed his words. As he was talking, he suddenly saw Yu Bing running over with a red face. Yi Kong and Fatty Hai thought that she was being teased by someone and asked angrily, "What's going on? Which idiot dares to touch you?" Yu Bing hurriedly waved her hands. "No, I just defeated my opponent and went to report the good news to my brother, but I didn't expect him and Sister Fallen Flowers to be." When Yu Bing said this, Fatty Hai drooled and asked nosily, "What are they doing? Were they kissing?" Under my guidance, Yu Yang's skill in picking up girls has improved by leaps and bounds. I didn't expect him to settle City Lord Fallen Flowers so quickly. Before he could finish his smugness, a teacup smashed on his head. When Fatty Hai raised his head, he saw the blushing city mistress Fallen Flowers glaring at him angrily. He quickly begged for mercy. "Grand Aunt, I can hit you, but can you not hit my face?" Aurora Light. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was prepared to use Aurora Light to kill Fatty Hai instantly. "I'm going to faint." Fatty Hai was so scared that he almost fainted. "We are brothers. Fatty, if you have any last words, I will try my best to help you." Yikong still wanted to add insult to injury. "We can't see anything." The Lee brothers also decided to stand by and watch. Sister Fallen Flowers don't. Only the kind-hearted Yu Bing pleaded for mercy for Fatty Hai. Of course, there was also the evil Yu Yang. Yu Yang took out a silver dagger and passed it to City Lord Fallen Flowers. Using Aurora Light to kill him would be too comfortable. I think if you use the dagger to stab him to death, or cut off his flesh piece by piece and let the blood flow out, then smear some honey on his bones and attract 2 nests of ants to slowly gnaw at him, it would be a perfect death. Oh my God! Fatty Hai, who was pretending to be dead, jumped up in fright and ran away. He was 10 times faster than when he used Hippo Meteor Punch on the stage. Yin Pajun looked at Yu Yang, and his lips moved slightly, as if he wanted to say something. However, he couldn't say it in the end. On the other side, Shuetan Lang walked over and nodded towards Yu Yang. In the first round of the group round-robin tournament, Bai Yunfei and Prince of Zijin will meet each other. I heard that Bai Yunfei has decided to give up so that he can save his strength to deal with you, me, and Songlan. If you don't mind, I will also give up on my battle with you. However, you will be fighting Bai Yunfei next. What do you think? Of course, Yu Yang agreed. Fighting with Shuetan Lang was not his goal. His real goal was to defeat Bai Yunfei and Prince of Zijin. Yu Bing felt that it was a little too early to talk about this. After all, Yu Yang and Xue Qianren had not fought in the first round of the top 20 elimination matches yet. "Brother, let's go to the arena and wait." Yu Bing was afraid that her brother would be late again. She insisted on dragging Yu Yang to the arena to wait. In the end, she realized that Prince of Zijin, who was ranked first, was still performing. When he heard the cheers from the crowd, he smashed the stage proudly and razed the arena to the ground. Yu Yang was bored and yawned as he retreated in defeat. If this continued, he would not be able to enter the top 20 elimination matches in Group B even tomorrow. Too coquettish, disgusting. Although Fatty Hai did not like Prince of Zijin, who was arrogantly teasing his opponent, he couldn't deny that Prince of Zijin was very strong. He had the right to be arrogant. You haven't seen Bai Yunfei before. Otherwise, you would know what is the most disgusting thing in the world. A man who was standing beside Fatty Hai snorted. "Brother, one look at you, and I can tell that you are a righteous person. As a righteous friend, let me introduce myself first. I'm Haida Fu, but everyone calls me Master Hai. I'm your boss. How should I address you?" When Fatty Hai heard this, he immediately felt a strong sense of familiarity with that person. It was as if they had known each other for a long time. They shook hands and hugged each other as they conversed passionately. When Yu Yang and the others saw this scene, goosebumps appeared on their bodies. They quickly retreated back to the Warriors' Hotel to rest. Otherwise, they would vomit if they continued to watch. After a while, Fatty Hai returned proudly. Although he was looked down upon by everyone, he was not angry. He even brought back a piece of news to Yu Yang. According to that brat, Bai Yunfei had given Xue Qianren a level 7 mammoth and a bronze-ranked level 6 saber-toothed tiger. My news came just in time. Really? City Mistress Fallen Flowers was a little suspicious. Even if it was the Floating Mist Sex Junior Elder, he wouldn't be able to distribute bronze-ranked level 6 beasts on the streets, right? Is Xue Qianren an idiot? Could it be that Xie Tao and Xie Tu didn't tell him that Yu Yang wasn't an 8? What's the use of giving him a bronze-ranked level 6 saber-toothed tiger? The giant crab and lion of the 12 zodiac temples were all gold-ranked level 6 king beasts. Yu Yang wouldn't even need to do it himself to kill them. Isn't he just seeking death? Does he really think that he can stop Yu Yang from advancing to the next round? He must have eaten something stupid. Yi Kong was furious when he heard this. If he knew that Xue Qianren didn't know what was good for him, he would have advised Yu Yang to massacre the entire Xie clan at the Yu clan village. He wouldn't have to look at these ungrateful trash anymore. City Mistress Fallen Flowers frowned slightly and shook her head. That's not right. Xue Qianren is very smart. He must have known that he wouldn't be able to defeat Yu Yang. That's why he accepted Bai Yunfei's gift and pretended that he wanted to fight to the death with Yu Yang. Think about it. If Xue Qianren had revealed Yu Yang's true identity and the fact that he was an innate, would Bai Yunfei still fight with Yu Yang? He would definitely withdraw from the competition. Furthermore, he wouldn't want to be gifted with two strong beasts. The fact that Xue Qianren could accept the beast proved that he didn't tell Bai Yunfei about Yu Yang being an innate. He even pretended to fight to the death with Yu Yang to show his loyalty, using this to confuse Bai Yunfei and make him underestimate Yu Yang. He's very cunning. If I'm not wrong, he wants Yu Yang to start a war with the Floating Mist sect. As for Bai Yunfei, he's just a chess piece that he conveniently uses. After City Mistress Fallen Flowers said this, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and the others all took a deep breath. From this, it could be seen that this Xue Qianren was really cunning. Without strength, no matter how good his schemes are, it's useless. An ant can scheme against a tiger, but it can't scheme against it. Yu Yang waved his hands, indicating that everyone didn't need to be nervous. Xue Qianren is nothing. The Thousand Goblin sect leader saw me kill his two subordinates, Tu Cheng and Quang Zhan, with his own eyes. He didn't even bat an eyelid. That's scary. After Yu Yang said this, even City Mistress Fallen Flower shuddered. The Thousand Goblin sect leader was indeed a terrifying threat. Compared to the Thousand Goblin sect leader, Xue Qianren was like a tiny ant. With just a breath from the Thousand Goblin sect leader, the whole Xie clan would be destroyed, let alone Xue Qianren. Luckily, he was restricted by the innate alliance agreement and couldn't attack anyone in the Soaring Dragon continent. He also didn't dare to attack Yu Yang recklessly. Otherwise, everyone would be in danger. Of course, even if he couldn't attack personally, it didn't mean that he wouldn't do something behind the scenes. For example, during this 100 Schools Elite tournament, he might take the opportunity to cause trouble. If he was secretly supporting someone, it would be a headache. The Thousand Goblins sect was just below the demonic palace. They were too powerful. Just sending a random person would be enough to deal with them. Furthermore, if the Thousand Goblins sect came, the demonic palace wouldn't want to be left out. Currently, no one could see any signs of it because their people were all hiding behind the dazzling radiance of the three great sects. On the surface, people could only see Bai Yunfei and Prince of Zijin's prestige. Who would know that the demonic palace and the Thousand Goblin sect were actually not any weaker than the four great sects? Because there was no competition tomorrow, everyone was preparing to find a place to have a feast. The mysterious beauty suddenly came over. Yi Kong, you guys stay here. If we still can't come back by tomorrow night, go and find Grandma Wu Tong to come to the 12 zodiac temples. Bing Air, we're going to the Virgo temple this time. You're the most important one, so you must participate. Furthermore, you must be strong. I will tell you what to do later. Sister Fallen Flowers, you should come too. I have already passed level 5. City Mistress Fallen Flowers also wanted to help, but she and Princess Sisai couldn't enter the temple. If we still can't come out by tomorrow, you and Xian can use your soul to call for us from outside. This is also her last insistence. Let's not talk anymore, let's go. When the mysterious beauty talked about sickly beauty, a hint of sadness flashed through her eyes. However, she quickly recovered. Yu Yang also felt that it was extremely important to pass the inner demon gate in the Virgo temple. He had to pass this gate. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to advance any further in the innate realm after reaching a certain level. After rushing to the 12 zodiac temples in the star domain, Yu Yang not only saw sickly beauty, but also an An who was dressed as a thief. He couldn't help but be stunned. Could it be that Inan was also one of the key people to help him pass the inner demon gate? When Inan saw Yu Yang, she raised her head and looked at him. Her eyes were filled with joy. However, immediately, shyness surged from the bottom of her heart, causing her to lower her head shyly. She didn't look like the usual tomboy Inan at all. Being heir, Inan, the two of you are the most important. You must pass the Virgo temple. Otherwise, Yu Yang won't be able to pass it because he is worried about the two of you. Come here. I'll tell you the solution that I've thought of. Initially, we didn't have to rush, but something might happen tomorrow. We must pass the Virgo temple today. Otherwise, Yu Yang's inner demon gate will be even more obstructive in the future. The mysterious beauty didn't tell Yu Yang what would happen tomorrow, but Yu Yang knew that it definitely had something to do with him. He didn't know what would happen tomorrow, so what would it be? Chapter 228. The mysterious beauty glanced at Yu Yang. There was a touch of gentleness in her eyes, but she didn't say anything to comfort Yu Yang. However, this silent support was enough to explain her attitude towards him. She would always support him. Yu Yang understood, and his confidence was boosted. He nodded at her. The mysterious beauty started to explain the solution that she thought of to the ladies. Being heir, Inan, when you entered the Virgo temple, you were already faking your death. You have to remember this. Everything that you have encountered is just a dream. It's not real. I don't know what the demons in your hearts are, but you have to defeat them in order to walk out of the Virgo temple. If you can't pass it, then it will be very difficult for Yu Yang to pass it as well. Both of you will pass it by staying still, while Yu Yang and I will pass it by moving. Yu Yang, your mission is to move forward. Don't care what is in front of you, and don't care what people say to you. It's all fake. You don't have to care about it. Just move forward bravely and reach the back hall of the Virgo temple based on your senses and complete the pass. As for me, I will stay behind to take care of you Bing and Inan. Understood. You Bing and Inan answered in unison. If they didn't need to fight with their minds clear, they were very confident. Come here. Sickly Beauty waved at Yu Yang. She gently cut her fair finger and used her blood to write a string of ancient runes on Yu Yang's left arm. Then, she summoned colorful light balls and let them enter the left arm that was stained with blood. Slowly, the crystal armor that appeared on her body gradually covered Yu Yang's arm, turning into a unique crystal arm. Sickly Beauty smiled at Yu Yang. No matter how the demons in your heart affect you, don't forget who you are. When you see the crystal arm, remember who you are. Yu Yang's heart warmed up as he embraced her passionately. Qian Qian hugged her from behind. Even Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty hugged her tightly. Don't lose yourself. Remember, we are waiting for you outside. City Lord Fallen Flowers didn't care about the women around her. She held Yu Yang's cheeks and kissed his lips lightly. She did not speak, but the tenderness in her eyes was enough to melt his heart. The girls pretended not to see anything. Although they also wanted to give him some special encouragement, they didn't have the courage of City Lord Fallen Flowers. They could only envy him in their hearts. As Yu Yang used body fusion to put Yu Bing and Inan into a state of suspended animation, the mysterious beauty carried Inan, and Yu Yang carried Yu Bing on his back. Once again, they entered the Virgo temple for the challenge. Looking at the back of the four people disappearing into the teleportation gate, Luo Hua City Mistress's tears could not help but slowly fall. Breaking the demons in the Virgo temple was the most difficult stage. It was even scarier than the Gemini temple's phantom clone. Not to mention ordinary warriors. Even innate rancors couldn't break the demons in their hearts. Warriors who did not pass through the heart's demon would be stuck at a standstill. This did not affect normal warriors at all, because they could not even touch that realm. However, to Yu Yang, it was the biggest obstacle on his path of cultivation. He had to get rid of the demons in his heart in order to be reborn from the outside to the inside, from the inside to the outside, and become the most outstanding warrior. Yu Yang had to get rid of the demons in his heart in order to get rid of all the flaws, break the mortal heart, cut off worldly feelings, and truly climb to the peak of the innate rancor. It's still too early to challenge the Virgo temple. However, no matter how difficult it is, Yu Yang and Wu Xia will succeed. Sickly Beauty's eyes were filled with warmth again. It's a pity that Sister Fallen Flowers and I can't help much. Princess Sisai sighed regretfully. Qian Qian, if you want to help him, you still have a lifetime's chance. Why do you care about this small Virgo temple? In the future, there might be more difficult challenges waiting for you. It won't be too late for you to step up then. Sickly Beauty stretched out her soft hands and gently stroked Princess Sisai's head. Her voice was as gentle as the night breeze. Sister Wu Hen, you will definitely get better. Let Yu Yang try using his nirvana flame. We can be together forever, just like how we lived happily in the Hundred Flowers Valley. Isn't that good? Why we have to separate after we grew up? Fallen Flowers' tears fell like pearls from a broken necklace. It's all my fault. I was too competitive and studied the ancient runes. It affected my body. I should be like Qian Qian and Wu Xia and improve steadily. Fallen Flowers, I also miss the past. You and Qian Qian ran happily in the garden and chased each other. Wu Xia liked to read very much at a young age. She would always sit under the shade of a tree and read quietly. I'm a little older than all of you. I'm more willing to learn from the adults and take care of an Anne in swaddling clothes. I'd hug her fragrant and soft little body and walk while kissing her. Valley Master and Night Empress watched us from under the eaves. More than 10 years have passed in the blink of an eye. The Anan who only knew how to drink milk and cry has already grown up. When I see her, it's as if I've returned to my childhood. Fallen Flowers, if God gives me another chance to choose, I definitely won't miss such a beautiful and colorful life. In the depths of the Sickly Beauty's eyes, there was a trace of sadness. However, as a warm smile blossomed on her face, the sadness disappeared without a trace. In the Virgo temple, the mysterious Beauty and Yu Yang looked at each other and hugged each other to encourage each other. At this time, what appeared in front of them was no longer the warm little house in Whitestone City, but the little garden in the Hundred Flowers Valley. The mysterious Beauty nodded and said, "Close your eyes and go according to your feelings. I'll take good care of them. Yu Yang, once you leave the teleportation area, no matter what you hear or see, it won't be true. I'll only be here." When Yu Yang covered his eyes and set off, the mysterious Beauty summoned her grimoire and raised a shield to protect Yu Bing and Anan. Just as the mysterious Beauty summoned her grimoire, a few blurry silhouettes suddenly appeared in front of her. When the silhouettes got closer, the mysterious Beauty realized that they were actually Princess Qian Qian, Luo Hua City Mistress, and the Sickly Beauty. The mysterious Beauty's expression didn't change at all. She said calmly, "I actually have so many demons in my heart. All right, what do you want to say to me?" "Wu Xia, I've never denied that you're the smartest one among us." Princess Qian Qian, who was transformed from the heart demon, stepped forward and raised her fist. "But I want to say that you can't monopolize him alone because I love him more than you do. Is that so? So I have selfish thoughts of having him all to myself? Or have I always been jealous of Qian Qian?" The mysterious Beauty smiled and asked City Mistress Fallen Flowers, "What do you want to say to me?" City Mistress Fallen Flowers also laughed out loud. "Wu Xia, you can pretend to be calm and act like you don't care, but don't lie to yourself, okay? Do you think you're really strong?" "No, Wu Xia, I know you. Actually, you're the most emotionally fragile one among us. Because of this, you always hide and read books quietly. You're running away, hiding, and trying to protect yourself. It's useless. It's completely useless. So I'm the most fragile one?" The mysterious Beauty nodded slowly and asked, "Do I have any other weaknesses?" "No, Wu Xia, I wish you the best. Valley Master and Night Empress said that you're the one with the most potential among us. I wasn't convinced, so I started to study the ancient runes. Although I've far surpassed you in these years, I'm not happy at all, and I've paid the price with my life. If I can, I want to go back to that little garden and watch you quietly reading books under the tree. As for me, I'll carry Anan, who's still a baby, and walk past Fallen Flowers and Qian Qian happily chasing each other." I'll sit beside you and proudly tell you that I know how to take care of children. You see, when I carry Anne, she never cries. Sickly Beauty slowly walked in front of the mysterious beauty, as if she wanted to reach out and touch the mysterious beauty's face. The mysterious beauty sat still, as if she didn't hear what Sickly Beauty said. Sickly Beauty took out a small and exquisite dagger. With trembling hands, she slowly pierced the dagger into her heart. Then, she weakly fell in front of the mysterious beauty. Suppressing the pain, her bright eyes revealed a gratified smile. Wuxia, I used to compete with you every day. No matter what, I wanted to win against you. Now, I know that I'm wrong. I won't compete with you for him anymore. I wish you the best. I like the dagger that you gave me as a birthday present. Now, I'm using it to end my life. That's great. I don't have long to live anyway. If there's a next life, I still want to be your sister, and I definitely won't compete with you anymore. The mysterious beauty's body trembled slightly when she saw that. However, her expression quickly returned to normal. Please allow me to correct something. You're my cousin, not my sister. Before I entered the Virgo temple, I purposely hypnotized myself that you're my sister. Indeed, my guess was right. The inner demon in the Virgo temple will expand infinitely according to the weakness of the challenger. I admit that I'm a little jealous of Chantian because she's always been my rival in life. I've also neglected Fallen Flowers because Fallen Flowers has loved flowers and plants since she was young, so there's no conflict between us. As for Cousin Wuhan, she's my role model. It's indeed heartbreaking that you're using this to attack me. However, if you think that you can make me fall for you just because of this, then you're making a big mistake. That's right, the person you're most concerned about is me. A man's voice rang out behind the mysterious beauty. No, the person I'm concerned about isn't you. You're just a shadow that replicates someone else's appearance. You're my biggest inner demon. What do you want to say to me? 3 meters behind the mysterious beauty, outside the barrier, stood the transformed inner demon, Yu Yang. As long as I say it, you'll cry in despair. The transformed inner demon, Yu Yang, sneered. Say it. The mysterious beauty raised her eyebrows and replied indifferently. You don't need me to say it. Actually, you've long suspected that the Yu Yang you know, that man, is a fake. The inner demon, Yu Yang, said coldly. Do you think I'll believe the words of an inner demon that's transformed from the Virgo temple? The mysterious beauty laughed. I don't know if you'll still be so calm after seeing the evidence. Do you want to see how the man you love is deceiving you? Come, look, you'll see his evil and ugly side very soon. The transformed inner demon, Yu Yang, waved his hand, and the little garden in front of him disappeared like fragments. What appeared in front of the mysterious beauty was a cozy little house in Whitestone City. 2 Yu Yangs were facing each other in the garden, while Fourth Mother was hugging the little girl and crying at the side. So, this is what he's worried about. He's really a fool who's looking for trouble. The mysterious beauty laughed unexpectedly when she saw it. Chapter 229. In front of the mysterious beauty, 2 Yu Yangs were arguing. However, her gaze was only focused on the one with the crystal arm. Her eyes were filled with tenderness. In front of Yu Yang, other than the 3 inner demons, there was no existence of the mysterious beauty, Yu Bing and Inan. The inner demon transformed Yu Yang and appeared in front of Yu Yang. Fourth Mother was hugging little Shuang-Er and crying. Yu Yang knew that everything was fake and was formed by his inner demon, but he still couldn't control his emotions. He really wanted to comfort Fourth Mother, who was heartbroken. He really wanted to tell her that he didn't want to lie to her, and that it was just a misunderstanding. Just kill me, and you can truly replace my identity. Yu Yang, the inner demon, sneered continuously. Get lost. You're just a shadow. Do you think you can stop me from passing through the Virgo temple, just like that? Yu Yang was furious. He really wanted to kill the other party. However, Yu Yang endured it in the end, because the person in front of him was just a shadow. If he admitted the other party's existence, he wouldn't be able to break through the inner demon. I don't deny that I'm a shadow. But what are you? You're an imposter, a liar, a fake of me. Do you think you can hide it from everyone by not saying it out loud? Impossible. There are always some inherent skills in this world that can see through your existence. In your heart, you can't deny this fact. You are not me. You will never be me. Inner demon Yu Yang said firmly. Sanner, how can you lie to me? Fourth mother cried her heart out. Annoying bastard, return brother Yu Yang to me. Little Shuang Er cried as she pounced on Yu Yang and hit him. Yu Yang's hands trembled. He gently caressed little Shuang Er's soft hair and suppressed his excitement. He said in a low voice, Shuang Er, I am your brother Yu Yang. Do you still remember catching butterflies and riding wildebeest in the courtyard? Do you still remember the brown sugar glutinous rice cake that brother Yu Yang bought for you? I didn't lie to you. I really am your Shao San Gidge. Suddenly, he saw Shuang throw the brown sugar glutinous rice cake on the ground and stomp on it forcefully while crying, I don't want it. I hate brown sugar glutinous rice cake. I hate you. Fourth mother covered her face and cried, Sanner, go. Don't ever come back. Yu Yang slowly turned around and took a deep breath. Fourth mother, Shuanger, both of you are just illusions of my heart demon. I won't mind if you don't say it yourself. I am Yu Yang. I am your San Air and Shao San Gidge. This is indisputable. If you need a San Air, I am him. I will bring the Yu clan to prosperity and prosperity. If you also need a brother Shao San, I am him. I will protect you from being bullied by bad people. I will bring you glory and hope. You must believe me. I am your family. The heart demon Yu Yang threw himself in front of Yu Yang and grabbed his collar with both hands, roaring like thunder. You are a fake, a liar. What you said should be done by me. You impersonated my identity, stole my family, and even stole my fiancée. Do you think no one in the world knows about this? One day, people will know the truth. In the end, you will be left with nothing. You are just an impersonator. You still have the face to call yourself Sanner? Disappear. I don't want to care about a shadow's bullsh asterisk T, scram. Yu Yang shook his hands and sent the heart demon, Yu Yang, flying 10 meters away. The heart demon Yu Yang fell to the ground and vomited blood. Fourth mother and little Shuanger rushed over to save the heart demon Yu Yang and scolded Yu Yang angrily at the same time. Yu Yang shook his head. No matter what you say or do, I will not be moved. You are all shadows. Suddenly, the mysterious beauty appeared in front of Yu Yang. Her jade-like face was as cold as ice. She stared at him angrily and sneered. I am not a shadow. I have seen the truth. My suggestion to go through the Virgo temple with you is right. You are indeed an impersonator. Yu Yang's body trembled slightly. In the end, he revealed a smile. You are also a shadow. Wuxia is not like you. Maybe my heart demon illusion is connected to Wuxia. Everything that you illusions do and say is purposely shown to her. Then, you show her reaction to me. Guardian of the Virgo temple, you are very powerful. Maybe you do not have any real power, but you can easily make people go crazy or make people kill each other. But I want to say, Guardian of the Virgo temple, you will be disappointed. We can pass through this Virgo temple. We will definitely pass through this Virgo temple successfully. When Yu Yang finished speaking, the mysterious beauty in front of him, the crying fourth mother and little Shuanger, as well as the heart demon Yu Yang, all disappeared in an instant. Everything returned to darkness. In front of the mysterious beauty, the image of Yu Yang disappeared. Standing in front of her was only the heart demon Yu Yang. The heart demon Yu Yang looked at the mysterious beauty in astonishment. You have seen the truth. Aren't you going to say something? There is no truth. You are just an illusion. I will not believe your words. Moreover, even if this is the truth, what does it matter? The man I like is him. I have gone through life and death with him. We have great teamwork in battle, one attacking and one defending. We are a match made in heaven. What I like is not his identity, but the fact that he is different from the rest. Love is not a product of fame and fortune. It is an indescribable, wonderful feeling from the bottom of my heart. Don't say that you are just an illusion. I will not believe it. Even if another Yu clan's third young master came to me and told me that he is my fiancé, I will still tell him that the man I like is an idiot who clenched his teeth and fought a bloody battle with me on the brink of death. He is the good son who was bathed in blood and pulled a horse carriage to the Yu clan castle for fourth mother. He is the good brother who, despite being an innate rancor, let his sister ride on his neck like a wildebeest and brought her to buy brown sugar glutinous rice cakes. He is the good man who saw his lover faking her death and wanted to cut open her chest with a dagger to massage her heart to revive her. I don't care who he is. I don't care what his identity is. I just like him. Liking a person doesn't need a reason, and I don't need to be suspicious. You are just a negative illusion. You'll never have his kind side. You will never understand what kind of person he is, and you will never understand my heart. The mysterious beauty slowly closed her eyes. You can disappear now, because no matter what you say, you will never be able to sway my heart. One day, you will regret it, especially when you realize that the one he likes the most is not you. The inner demon, Yu Yang, sneered. I won't regret it. If the one he likes the most is not me, it means that I am not outstanding enough. I still have to work hard. The mysterious beauty replied without batting an eyelid. If the one he likes the most is not me, then I will work hard to do better until he likes me the most. The inner demon, Yu Yang, suddenly shattered into millions of pieces and disappeared. Everything returned to darkness. Inan felt someone patting her cheeks lightly. She opened her eyes and saw that it was the mysterious beauty. She shouted happily, Sister Wu Xia, did you and Yu Yang successfully defeat the inner demon? Can we pass through the Virgo temple now? What about Yu Bing? Yu Bing can go, but you have to stay. The reason is that I will not allow a love rival to stay by my side. Only I am his fiancé. The mysterious beauty pointed her finger at Inan's forehead. Inan felt her vision go black, and she fainted again. But this time, she was not completely unconscious. She could still hear. She could hear the mysterious beauty carrying Yu Bing's footsteps as they walked further and further away. Tears flowed out uncontrollably. Inan was grieving. Suddenly, hot raindrops fell on her face drop by drop. 2 of the drops fell on her lips and seeped in. There was a bitter taste, causing Inan's heart to tremble. These were tears. She did not wake up from the fake death. That was just the inner demon's illusion. What happened just now was fake. Sister Wu Xia didn't carry Yu Bing away. One of them was even crying, Wake up. I want to wake up immediately. Inan was anxious, but she could not wake herself up no matter how hard she tried. Just as she was feeling anxious, she heard a weak cry. Brother, don't leave me, don't. This was Yu Bing's cry. Yu Bing was still here. Everything just now was fake. With this thought in mind, the darkness in front of Inan shattered. Everything disappeared in front of her. Finally, she woke up with an ah and opened her eyes. She realized that she was lying in Sister Wu Xia's arms. Other than herself, Yu Yang, Yu Bing, and Sister Wu Xia were all in a deep sleep. Everyone was leaning on each other. Yu Bing was crying in Yu Yang's arms. Her tears dripped down and dripped on her face. She seemed to be under the control of the inner demon and could not escape. As for Yu Yang and Sister Wu Xia, wounds would appear on their bodies from time to time. It seemed that they were being attacked by the inner demon. Everyone, wake up quickly. We are all dreaming. Everything is fake. Wake up quickly. Inan slapped Yu Yang and Yu Bing's faces. But it was useless. The 3 of them did not respond at all. I didn't expect your inner demon to be so small. However, it's useless no matter what you do. Those 3 people will never be able to escape from the inner demon world. A faintly discernible and indistinct voice resounded in the dark space. When Inan heard it, she was shocked at first, but when she understood, she smiled. Is that so? Inan immediately summoned her grimoire and summoned a beautiful hallucination butterfly. The hallucination butterfly was an evolved form of the bewilderment butterfly. Its control of mental power was stronger. Although it could not control humans, it could interfere with their thoughts. Just as Inan controlled the hallucination butterfly to interfere with Yu Yang's inner demon dreamland to wake him up, a strong mental power forcefully imprisoned Inan's thoughts. Her head was swollen and her heart was in a mess. However, She was unable to control her thoughts in the heart demon world. The mysterious beauty had already woken up. She was carrying Enan on her back, and Yu Yang, who was carrying Yu Bing on his back, was running towards the front. Behind them, the gold-ranked level 6 heart demon Yu Yang was chasing. She wanted to fight back, but found that she could not attack the enemy at all. She could only run for her life. After forcefully resisting the inner demon, Yu Yang's first slash, earth-splitting slash, the mysterious beauty suddenly put Enan down and muttered to herself, "So I didn't really wake up. I've always been dreaming, what?" The inner demon, Yu Yang's Hui Jin magic blade, slashed at the mysterious beauty's head, but strangely stopped. "If I thought that you didn't exist, I wouldn't be injured at all. It's just that I was sure that your attack was effective, so my body was injured. Enan, or Yu Bing must have woken up. Your control is declining, and I can feel real pain." The mysterious beauty raised her hand and pulled up her sleeves. Looking at the small, bleeding wound on her arm, she smiled. "You will never know what the use of the wound I made before I entered the Virgo temple was. It was a spiritual suggestion. My cousin and I suspected that what Yu Yang saw before was just a dream, because with his strength, a gold-ranked level 6 guardian beast wouldn't be able to injure him so badly. Only the power in his heart could cause that kind of injury. Furthermore, you're not the only beast in this world that can kill people with its mind. In the Valley of Butterflies and 100 Flowers, there are at least 10 types of beasts that can kill people with their mind. Disappear, hateful inner demon world. This dream is really boring." As soon as the mysterious beauty said this, the inner demon, Yu Yang, and the darkness shattered. She opened her eyes and found that Enan was struggling to hold on. The invisible spiritual force almost destroyed Enan completely. "The game can end now, guardian of the Virgo temple." The mysterious beauty leaped into the air and summoned her grimoire. She condensed a storm with one hand covered in frost and the other in lightning. She struck the darkness in front of her fiercely. The darkness in front of her was like a crystal wall as a crack appeared on it. The spiritual force had disappeared by more than half. Enan was overjoyed. Just as she was about to fly forward to help, a crystal arm suddenly stretched out from behind and hugged her lightly. "Enan, you did well. Let me do the rest." It was Yu Yang who had just woken up. He flew towards the dark crystal wall like a meteor. His crystal arm struck the dark crystal wall with the force of a thunderbolt. The heaven and earth shook. The crack on the dark crystal wall became bigger, but it still stood firm and blocked the way. "Brother, I knew it. Brother would not leave Bing Air behind." Yu Bing was the fourth to wake up. She crawled up in surprise and pounced towards Yu Yang, who had bounced back. The blood that Yu Yang and the mysterious beauty had spilled on the ground was accidentally touched and stepped on by Yu Bing when she got up. The blood was scattered and mixed together. The moment Yu Bing jumped towards Yu Yang, a colorful light appeared. There was a pure flame similar to Nirvana's flame. It was as white as light and burned fiercely. Following Yu Bing's movement, the flame splashed onto Yu Yang, Enan, and the mysterious beauty's body. Among them, Yu Yang and the mysterious beauty's body burned the most fiercely. The strange fire shocked the three girls. They rushed towards Yu Yang and hugged him tightly. Even if they were to die, they hoped that they could die together with Yu Yang in the end. However, the flame did not burn them at all. Instead, it continuously purified their bodies. In this pure and gentle flame, the four of them felt like they were reborn. Their clothes were all destroyed and turned into smoke. The wounds on Yu Yang and the mysterious beauty's body also disappeared quickly. Then, countless mysterious runes appeared on Yu Yang's body. Slowly, the pure white flame expanded. In the end, it extended to the three girls' arms, shoulders, back, and breasts. The blood that splashed on the dark crystal wall from the mysterious beauty and Yu Yang's wounds also started to burn. The dark crystal wall that was full of cracks disappeared like smoke in the pure flame. Tens of meters away, there was only a crystal mirror decorated with gold and gemstones. 100 meters behind the crystal mirror was the huge back hall wall. In front of the giant statue of the war god, there was a statue of a merciful goddess with her hands held together, holding 2 points of light. Those 2 small specks of light were as sparkling and translucent as Yu Bing's tears just now. The Virgo Temple, which was recognized as the most difficult to pass, was finally broken through with the combined efforts of Yu Yang and the 3 girls. Chapter 230. Even though she had changed into Yu Bing's clothes, Inan was still embarrassed. She did not dare to raise her head to look at him, especially when she thought of the embarrassing scene just now. She wanted to find a hole to hide in. All along, she had appeared in front of him as Inan's brother. She had even pretended to be her brother and put the necklace on his neck. She had promised to marry him on behalf of her younger sister. But now, her identity as a girl was exposed in front of Yu Yang. She really did not know how to face him. Yu Bing's face was also red. She was a younger sister, burning her clothes in front of her brother. Of course, she was embarrassed. What made her most uneasy was that this strange fire seemed to be caused by her. As for what happened, she also did not understand. Yu Yang took the opportunity when Inan and Yu Bing hid at the side to change their clothes. He rushed to the mysterious beauty who was covered in frost and condensed of battle armor. Just now, what was the demon in your heart? Did you see the same demon in your heart as me? What did he say to you? He said some nonsense. The mysterious beauty's eyes showed a hint of gentleness. She said softly, "That might be a little secret, but I don't care. If you're worried, I can tell you. That is a secret that only you and I know. In the future, there will never be a third person who will know. You don't have to worry about this secret anymore. Treat fourth mother and sister well. Did you suspect it a long time ago?" Yu Yang was happy and asked again. "Everyone has secrets. If your secret is something that I cannot share, I will not be curious about it. Even if I know it, I will bury it deep in my heart." The mysterious beauty's clear eyes bloomed with her unique smile. "Student Yu Yang, there might not be many people who are worthy of your trust, but you could try to trust me." "Thank you, Wu Xia." Yu Yang felt that a huge rock had been lifted from his heart. The danger that had been pressing on his heart since the first day of his transmigration was gone. His whole body was extremely relaxed. His state of mind had changed unknowingly. Faintly, there was an opportunity to break through to a higher realm. If it wasn't for the fact that he wanted to see the reward for clearing the Virgo Temple, Yu Yang would have tried to break through the 5th level of the innate invisible sword chi. Once the demon in his heart was gone, the original crisis was eliminated. Yu Yang felt as if he had obtained a new life. He now had the confidence to climb to the peak of the innate realm. When he no longer had any worries in his life, he would be able to concentrate 100% on training. How hard would it be to climb to the peak of the innate realm? The mysterious beauty smile was like a clear spring, nourishing Yu Yang's heart. "Although you're a stupid bad guy, I feel that you're actually still okay." Yu Yang was overjoyed. "Really? I'm free tomorrow. Let's go boating on the lake, okay?" "No, boating might suit Qian, but that's not my hobby." The mysterious beauty refused. "Then I'll accompany you to read under the 10,000-year ancient oak tree." Yu Yang reacted quickly. "Just reading?" The mysterious beauty asked cautiously. "I promise, I'll only read. I won't mess around." When Yu Yang heard that there was a chance, he immediately pretended to be an obedient child. He patted his chest and promised, hoping that the beauty would agree. "No." The mysterious beauty still refused. "Why not?" Yu Yang showed his sincerity. "Girl, give me a chance. It's rare for me to pretend to be an obedient child." "Then I'll think about it." The mysterious beauty's eyes were smiling gently. When Yu Yang heard this, he was so excited that he jumped 3 feet in excitement. In this world, with a girl like her, what more could he ask for? Inan and Yu Bing quietly returned. After changing into Yu Bing's clothes, Inan, who was obviously a little tight and short, hid behind Yu Bing's back like a cat, afraid that Yu Yang would see her. Yu Yang was afraid that she would be too embarrassed, so he didn't look at her. He stretched out his hand and caressed Yu Bing's soft hair. "Bing let's go. Let's go and take a look at the rewards for clearing this round." As he said this, he patted Anan's head lightly, hinting for her to follow. Although she knew that he had discovered her, after being comforted by him, the embarrassment in Anan's heart was greatly reduced. With a blushing face, she hid behind him and quietly followed them. On the surface, the gold and diamond crystal mirror looked like a precious mirror. However, under Yu Yang's level 4 divine vision, he discovered that it was actually a beast, a special type beast. When Yu Yang and the three girls walked closer, the image of the merciful goddess messenger appeared on the surface of the crystal mirror. That faintly discernible and indistinct voice sounded again. Young lads, pure ladies, congratulations. You are the first team from the 12 zodiac temples to pass through the Virgo temple. You all trust each other. The whole team came here, but everyone defeated their inner demons. The difficulty is much greater than defeating your inner demons alone. As the guardian of the Virgo temple, out of joy and blessings to all of you, I am willing to give all of you a little special reward. The crystal mirror shone brightly. The pure white light illuminated the entire space, making people unable to open their eyes. At the moment when the light was at its brightest, 4 sparkling and translucent white lights floated into the space between Yu Yang, Yu Bing, Enan, and the mysterious beauty's eyebrows. At the same time, in the 4 people's minds, a kind of information bloomed like a flower. A skill called Heart Mirror appeared, as if it was an inherent skill. Then, the surface of the crystal mirror started to crack and shatter. A beam of white light was projected onto Anan's body. Another beam of white light floated into the sky and formed the image of the merciful goddess messenger. She smiled at Anan and said, "This young lady is most compatible with me. I will give you the spirit mirror. My mission is complete. Goodbye." The merciful goddess messenger turned into a beam of white light and shot into the sky at an extremely fast speed. In the end, she disappeared without a trace, as if she had never appeared in the first place. Only the crystal shards on the ground, which served as the proof of passing the trial, became a historical record and scattered all over the ground. Yu Yang kept the crystal shards. He realized that these shards seemed to have a great use. The runes engraved on them were completely unfamiliar to him. If he could duplicate them, he might be able to make another crystal mirror with inner demons. If he used this kind of weapon against his enemies, they would definitely die a horrible death. When Yu Yang was cleaning up the crystal shards, Inan couldn't wait to summon her grimoire. Flipping it open, she discovered that a new beast had appeared on the originally blank page. Spirit Mirror, Special Type Beast. Gold ranked, level 1. Illusory spiritual body. No consciousness. Special skills. Mirror transformation. Spirit absorption. Spirit mirror fusion. The mysterious beauty and Yu Bing went over to take a look. They were both happy for Anan. A gold-ranked level 1 beast was not what made people the happiest. The main thing was that the merciful goddess messenger had pointed out a path of cultivation for Anan. That was to walk on the path of spiritual power cultivation. With this spirit mirror that was the most compatible with Anan, her future would be limitless, especially if she could reach the level of creating an inner demon world. Warriors who had not passed the inner demon barrier would probably die a tragic death in front of Anan. Just like the saying left behind by the ancient peak warriors, what is the best beast? A beast that is most suitable for oneself is the best beast. In the past, Anan didn't know what was the most suitable for herself. Now, not only did she know, she even had a spirit mirror that was the most suitable for her future cultivation. Congratulations, Sister Anan. Yu Bing congratulated Anan immediately. She could finally call Anan's sister openly, without worrying that Yu Yang would hear her calling her by mistake. Hence, she called her sister especially cheerfully and loudly. "Thank you, Bing Er." Anan said thank you, but her eyes were peeking at Yu Yang's reaction under her long eyelashes. Seeing Yu Yang looking at her with a smile on his face, she quickly lowered her head, afraid that he would make fun of her. Hearing his congratulations, Anan felt embarrassed and a trace of sweetness in her heart. With the spirit mirror, it seemed that she would be able to help him in the future. Even if it was just a little, it was much better than being a burden. The mysterious beauty saw Anan looking at her nervously and smiled. This spirit mirror is not bad. Student Yu Yang has never given you any gifts. Let him give you a war beast that can merge with the spirit mirror. When a spirit mirror has spiritual consciousness, I believe it won't be too far from creating an inner demon world. Anan's voice was softer than a mosquito. No need. She said no. But in her heart, she really wanted Yu Yang to give her a war beast that could merge with the spirit mirror. It didn't matter when he gave it, as long as he gave it to her personally. Yu Yang didn't say anything. He just reached out and touched Anan's head as an answer. Of course, Anan understood Yu Yang's silent answer. Her heart was bashful and happy at the same time. She wanted to act more ladylike on the surface, but her lips couldn't help but smile. In front of the Mercy God statue, there were two small, sparkling, and translucent lights in her hands. They looked like pearls and tears. Yu Yang looked at them with his level 4 divine vision and exclaimed, "These are the goddess's tears. The legendary goddess's tears that can bring the dead back to life are actually these two little things. The most difficult challenge, the reward, is naturally the richest reward." The mysterious beauty was the most excited. With these goddess's tears, her cousin might be saved. The goddess's tears were unknown, but they came from the highest level of Tong Tian Tower. 10,000 years ago, the goddess's tears were recorded in the medicine encyclopedia as the most important ingredient for the holy healing medicine rebirth pill. The first person in human history to consume the rebirth pill was Princess Mian Xiang, who is equally famous as the Starlight Princess. People also called her the Sleeping Princess. It was said that she was poisoned to death and placed in a crystal coffin for 100 years. After consuming the rebirth pill, she slowly woke up as if she had just woken up from a deep sleep. Her appearance and complexion were no different from before she was poisoned to death 100 years ago. Her complexion was glowing, and the poison in her body had been completely dispersed. Furthermore, after consuming the rebirth pill, the sleeping princess would remain youthful for 200 years. If it wasn't for evil warriors assassinating the sleeping princess while stealing the rebirth pill's recipe, she would probably still be the soaring dragon continent's #1 beauty, even if she lived for another 200 years. The most important ingredient for the rebirth pill was the goddess's tears. Without the goddess's tears, even if the rebirth pill could be successfully refined, it wouldn't be much different from a normal healing pill. It was said that even if the goddess's tears wasn't used to refine the pill, just by consuming the goddess's tears, a girl would be able to remain youthful for 100 years, among the best medicines and treasures in the medicine room. The goddess's tears were ranked in the top 5. The only thing that could be compared to it was the god's blood, which was said to be able to increase a man's cultivation by 100 years. It was unexpected that such a rare treasure would appear as a reward in the Virgo temple. Furthermore, it wasn't just one, but 2 goddesses' tears, as expected of the most difficult Virgo temple. Its rewards for clearing the trial were even better than the rewards from the other Gemini temple. Furthermore, these 2 goddesses' tears were even more popular among the girls. Most importantly, whether Yu Yang could save sickly beauty depended on it. If he could use it to refine the rebirth pill, there would be hope for sickly beauty. Chapter 231. Yu Yang and the 3 girls continued to advance towards Libra Palace. Different from the previous palaces, Libra Palace was restricted by the ancient code. Even Yu Yang, who had night vision and level 4 divine vision, couldn't see anything with his eyes. Under the situation where they couldn't see their enemies, it was extremely difficult for Yu Yang and the 3 girls to pass through the Libra Palace. Fortunately, Xiao Wenli, the barbarian cow shadow, and the little thorny flower demoness worked together and successfully passed through the Libra Palace. Yu Yang obtained the treasure golden scales. Barbarian cow shadow man and little thorny flower demoness obtained the wisdom reward. After Xiao Wenli's dual icicle blades had successfully shattered the golden sword evil cutter in the hands of the Libra Temple's guardian. She had absorbed the power of the golden sword evil cutter. Her dual icicle blades had leveled up from dark gold ranked, which was equivalent to platinum rank to diamond rank. The demon abyss usually referred to platinum ranked as dark gold ranked. It was slightly different from the soaring dragon continent, but the essence was the same. Scorpio Palace. The eighth palace, Scorpio Palace, was a desert. Countless bronze-ranked and silver-ranked scorpions were hidden in the sand. The Scorpio Palace was also buried deep under the sand. Yu Yang couldn't kill the guardian of the Scorpio Palace, the golden scorpion, but he managed to injure it heavily and obtained the gold-ranked treasure Scorpio gloves. Yu Bing's reward in this stage was the biggest. Her intense poison inherent skill had leveled up, and she had even obtained a skill called sealing throat at sight of blood. If beasts below gold ranked were to be hit by this skill, they would be incurable. If a human warrior below level 6 Elder were to be hit by this skill, they would also die instantly. Fortunately, it was the kind-hearted Yu Bing who had this skill. If it was someone else who had obtained such a terrifying skill, they would probably cause a bloodbath in the soaring dragon continent. After resting for 2 hours, Yu Yang led the 3 girls into the Sagittarius Palace. The ninth palace, the Sagittarius Palace, was a forest valley. Countless people lived there. Arrows, javelins, battle axes, the crazy attacks of the people never stopped after Yu Yang and the others entered. After almost 100 battles and ambushes, Yu Bing and Anan, who had no choice but to summon their grimoires to fight, had leveled up one after another. Anan had leveled up to level 5 Master, while Yu Bing had leveled up to level 4 Hero. Only Yu Yang was still the same. He was still a warrior. When Yu Yang brought the 3 ladies to the Sagittarius Palace, there was a golden centaur that was as huge as a house waiting for them. In order to allow Yu Yang to go further, the mysterious beauty stepped forward and fought against the golden centaur king. With Yu Yang's help, the 3 women managed to defeat their enemies after a tough battle. The golden centaur king turned into a huge stone statue after being heavily injured. Its soul turned into a golden light and flew into the sky. Originally, Yu Yang thought that he could get the golden bow from the golden centaur king after the battle, but who knew that it would also turn into stone? In the end, only 4 small and exquisite golden horseshoes were left behind. As the main fighter, the mysterious beauty decided to gift these 4 golden horseshoes with the blessing of luck to Anan. Finally, after Anan's silver Pegasus received the blessing of luck from the golden horseshoes and the reward of intelligence from clearing the trial, the silver Pegasus evolved from its original silver rank to gold ranked. It could be said that although the mysterious beauty had fought with all her might, however, the lucky Anan became the one who gained the most from clearing the Sagittarius Palace. We have stayed in there for too long. Qian Qian and Fallen Flowers will definitely be worried. My combat power has been severely depleted. Yu Yang, you should continue forward. I will go out and greet Qian Qian and Fallen Flowers so that they won't have to wait for us. The exhausted, mysterious beauty decided to go out and bring a message to Qian Qian and the others. If that's the case, I will also follow Sister Wuxia. I have also reached my limit. Anan actually hoped to fight alongside Yu Yang. However, she was already exhausted from the battle in the Sagittarius Palace. If she stayed, she would only become a burden to Yu Yang. Yu Yang could only protect Yu Bing. If she were to join him, it would definitely be strenuous. Thus, Anan decided to leave. The 12 Zodiac Palaces were filled with insane challenges. None of the palaces were easy to clear. The Virgo Palace was the most difficult, but she was not the main fighter. Thus, she passed it unknowingly. She didn't even need to participate in the Libra Palace. However, once she reached the Scorpio Palace and the Sagittarius Palace, Anan realized that these were really places of torture. If it wasn't for her and Yu Yang, she would have already decided to quit. The rewards for clearing the 12 Zodiac Palaces were very generous. However, she was not strong enough to continue the challenge. It was already amazing that she could last until now. Yu Bing was a little reluctant. She actually still had strength left. However, since the mysterious beauty and Anan were about to leave, she also said softly, I I will go out too. Yu Yang felt that the little girl still had strength left. He persuaded, Bing Air, you can go out after the next round. If you are tired, I can carry you. The mysterious beauty and Inan also persuaded Yu Bing to stay. They felt that Yu Bing's potential was limitless, and she had a lot of room for improvement. She should stay and train with Yu Yang. It's okay. If I stay, I won't be able to help brother a lot. Instead, I will only distract brother. Furthermore, I have already improved a lot. I still haven't fully comprehended it. Yu Bing's true thoughts were that she had obtained a lot of rewards. If she stayed, she would definitely divide the rewards that her brother got for clearing the round. If all the rewards were given to her brother, then her brother's strength would definitely improve greatly. Yu Bing felt that it was more important to increase her brother's strength. She had already obtained a lot of rewards, so she should be satisfied. Under her insistence, Yu Yang did not force her to stay. Anyway, he had already completed the 12 Zodiac Palaces challenge. In the second floor of Tong Tian Tower, there was still the Sky, Earth, and Human Shrines challenge. After the 3 Shrines challenge, there was still the World Tree mission in the third floor of Tong Tian Tower. As for the 4th, 5th, and 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, there were even more difficulties waiting for them. There was no need to worry about not having a chance to train. Seeing that Inan and Yu Bing had already made up their minds, the mysterious beauty no longer objected. She whispered a few words to Yu Yang, reminding him to be careful. If he couldn't defeat the enemies, it was fine if he came out first. He could challenge them again when he had the time in the future. Anyway, the most difficult Gemini Temple and Virgo Temple had already been cleared. Inan also wanted to speak to Yu Yang alone. However, she was a little shy and couldn't bring herself to do so. Her bright eyes peeked at Yu Yang from under her long eyelashes. Without making a sound, she pulled Yu Bing's hand and chased after the mysterious beauty with a blush on her face. After sending off the 3 girls, Yu Yang went to the Capricorn Temple alone. The Capricorn Temple was a huge river. Countless amphibious fishmen, frogmen, lizardmen, and water monsters pounced on them to attack. Xiao Wenli didn't even need to do anything in this battle. Just the stone element Medusa and the storm mermaid were enough to turn these fishmen and water monsters into corpses. What surprised Yu Yang the most was that the stone element Medusa even summoned a golden tiger shark to chase all the fishmen and water monsters onto the shore. With a pincer attack from both underwater and on the ground, the fishmen and water monsters were completely defeated and countless of them died. In the huge temple by the river, the guardian of the Capricorn Temple could transform. It could freely change between a fishman and a golden goat. Furthermore, it knew a terrifying demonic summoning technique. It could use a special summoning technique to turn its opponent into a helpless sheep. The golden tiger shark was very arrogant at first. However, when it was hit by the goat shadow ball summoned by the guardian of the Capricorn Temple, it immediately turned into a little sheep. It almost drowned, even though it was the king of the water. The guardian of the Capricorn Temple angered little Wenli. She personally led the stone element Medusa, Storm Mermaid, and Thunder Naga to chase after the guardian of the Capricorn Temple underwater and severely injured it. The guardian escaped back to the shore. Just as it turned into a golden goat, it was attacked by the gold-ranked dragon, slaying Dagger, and silver-ranked I Destroyer Dagger from the Bloody Queen, who had been lying in wait for a long time. If Yu Yang could make a move, it would have died even if it had 2 lives. However, Yu Yang was restricted by the rules and couldn't make a move. The guardian that had turned into a golden goat was almost killed by the Bloody Queen, but it managed to escape in the end. Maybe it had already acknowledged that Yu Yang had passed the trial. Therefore, when a guardian that had turned into a golden goat was about to dive down and deal a fatal blow, it turned into a golden light and disappeared, leaving only a pile of golden goat wool on the ground. Is golden goat wool also a gold-ranked treasure? Yu Yang was shocked. Under his level 4 divine vision S observation, he realized that these extremely soft golden goat wool were really sweating profusely. Maybe it was because she had almost killed the guardian of the Capricorn Temple with her last dagger, but the Bloody Queen actually received the Capricorn Temple guardians, sheep transformation, demonic summoning skill as a reward. Of course, this was a newly rewarded skill and was only level 1. It couldn't be compared to the original Capricorn Temple Guardians, sheep transformation, demonic summoning skill. Currently, the Bloody Queen's sheep transformation skill could only be used on beasts that were below gold ranked and not higher than level 6. Although it was a little useless, Yu Yang felt that this skill was not bad and had a lot of potential. When he leveled up in the future, he could use it to disturb his enemies. Just think about it. If the enemy managed to summon a powerful beast with great difficulty, then the Bloody Queen would turn it into a sheep that had no combat power. Wouldn't the enemy cry to death? Taking advantage of the victory in the Capricorn Temple, Yu Yang killed his way into the 11th temple, the Aquarius Temple. The Aquarius Temple's outer beasts and guardian were not considered strong. According to the ranking of the 12 temples, they were only average. However, this guardian summoned beast almost exhausted Yu Yang to death. The Aquarius Temple's first summoned beast was a divine envoy shadow who was holding a golden bottle. Every time little Wan Li, man, little thorny flower Demonis, and the others painstakingly injured the Aquarius Temple Guardian, the divine envoy shadow would use the power of the bottle to completely heal its master. Furthermore, it could even double its master's energy. This gave Yu Yang the feeling that he had met a high HP and a priest in a game. It was enough to make him depressed to death. However, no attack could hit the divine envoy shadow. This made him even more frustrated. The final victory came from the blood pupil's double kill that Yu Yang had never seen before. Only now did he understand how abnormal this blood pupil's double kill was. The barbarian cow shadow man had activated Doom's Eyes and then activated blood pupil's double kill. Although the Aquarius Temple Guardian did not die immediately, its soul was heavily injured and it fell to the ground. The ancient code allowed the Guardian's death. Blood Pupil's double kill had instantly killed the divine envoy shadow who could not attack at all. Yu Yang caught the golden bottle that fell from the sky. His mouth was so wide that a fist could be stuffed inside. He had never thought that Blood Pupil's double kill would be able to instantly kill people like this. He had always thought that Blood Pupil's double kill only required 2 stares from bullseyes. He never thought that the divine envoy's shadow, who did not stare, would also be instantly killed by Blood Pupil's double kill because its master was heavily injured. Although this super abnormal skill required a lot of luck to appear, once it appeared, the enemy would not just cry to death, they would just wait for death. Imagine if a man stared a beast to death and activated Blood Pupil's double kill after Doom's Eyes, then its master would be in big trouble, of course. A man had not tried whether instant kill could also kill its master twice. Yu Yang was only guessing at the moment. If it was possible, then this skill could be ranked at the top of the list of abnormal skills. What was abnormal? This was abnormal. Other than obtaining the reward for clearing the stage, Yu Yang also obtained a man and the little thorny flower Demonis intelligence. He also obtained the golden bottle. Inside the bottle, there was half a bottle of God's Dew that could recover one's vitality and injuries with just 1 drop. Originally, the Aquarius Temple Guardian would only die when the God's Dew was used up. However, when Blood Pupil's double kill was used, the God's Dew that was not used up became Yu Yang's spoils of war. What was an explosion of luck? This was an explosion of luck, a huge explosion. Chapter 232. Yu Yang really wanted to take down the Pisces Temple in one go and complete the mission of clearing the 12 Zodiac Temples. Because for 10,000 years, no one had completed it. No one knew what would happen after clearing the 12 Zodiac Temples. Yu Yang speculated based on the rewards of each temple. Because the difficulty of clearing the 12 Zodiac Temples was extremely high, there would definitely be a surprise reward after clearing it. But starting from the Virgo Temple, he had cleared 6 temples consecutively. After defeating the guardian of the Aquarius Temple, Yu Yang still had his physical strength, but his mind was extremely tired. Plus, he was worried about Fallen Flowers, Qian and the others, so he decided to go out and take a look. After he had a good rest, he would finish clearing the Pisces temple. Most importantly, after obtaining the goddess tear and God's due, Yu Yang couldn't wait to share his joy with the girls. With the goddess tear and God's due, sickly beauty could be saved. Coming out of the teleportation door, Yu Yang realized that the 5 girls, fallen flowers, Qian, Yu Yu, Inan, and Yu Bing were still there. The mysterious beauty and sickly beauty were nowhere to be seen. Princess Sisai saw Yu Yang coming out and was the first to welcome him. She didn't ask Yu Yang about the process of the battle and gestured, "Quick, let's leave this place." What happened? Yu Yang was puzzled. Could it be that what Wu Xia said was true? She said that something terrible might happen on the second day. If he knew about it, his inner demon would be triggered and he wouldn't be able to clear the Virgo temple. Now that a day had passed, it meant that the thing that Wu Xia said might have happened today. Princess Sisai didn't answer. She pulled Yu Yang and left. After returning to the Wen Qi Min, Yu Yu and Yu Bing's eyes were red. They looked at Yu Yang as if they wanted to say something, but they didn't say anything. This made Yu Yang even more puzzled. Could it be that something had happened to Fourth Mother? That was not possible. If something had happened to Fourth Mother, Yu Bing would definitely cry her eyes out. Furthermore, Jun Wu Yu and the old cunning fox had also promised that they would send Fourth Mother to an absolutely safe place to live. She would definitely not be found by the enemy. If something didn't happen to Fourth Mother, then what exactly happened? Yu Yang looked at City Lord Fallen Flowers, hoping that she could give him an explanation. City Mistress Fallen Flowers did not hide anything. She walked over and sat beside Yu Yang. Someone wrote a letter to Jun Wu Yu and Old Marshal Yu, revealing that the substitute clan master Yushan is a puppet possessed by a demon. It can't be, right? Yu Yang was stunned. Although his first uncle Yushan was very sinister, his body and aura did not resemble a demon at all. If he wasn't familiar with it and couldn't sense it, then could it be that Elder Yu Haik didn't even know what had happened to his son? Also, how could a wife who slept with Yushan not know about the changes in her husband's body? People like Yu Tian, Yu Ting, and Yu Yu, as a son and daughter, how could they not be able to tell that their father had been possessed by a demon? Yushan served as Xia and often entered the imperial palace. If he was possessed by a demon, could it be that the heavenly imperial guardians of the Xia, those innate rancors, couldn't tell that Yushan was a demon? Yu Yang thought for a while, but he didn't really believe such a laughable conjecture. If one said that Yushan was an incomparably sinister hypocrite, Yu Yang would believe it. If one said that Yushan was the murderer of the tragic guy's father, Yu Qiu, Yu Yang would also believe it. However, if one said that he was possessed by a demon, Yu Yang felt that unless all the warriors in the soaring dragon continent were blind, they wouldn't be able to tell. Yu Yang didn't believe this kind of exposure at all. He felt that the person who exposed him must have a headache. Yu Yang would raise both his hands in approval to ruin Yushan's reputation. No matter who it was, he wouldn't oppose it. However, this kind of method made him speechless. This would only make people sympathize with Yushan even more. When Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai heard about this, they would instead comfort Yushan. Yushan's position as the substitute clan master would probably not be taken down in a short period of time. Yu Yang asked curiously, who was so bored to write this kind of letter? Yu Yu's lips trembled a little. It was third uncle. Third uncle came back yesterday. This sentence was like a bolt from the blue. When Yu Yang heard this, he couldn't help but shiver. God, it was actually the tragic guy's father, Yu Qiu, who had come back. Whether Yushan was a demon or not, Yu Yang wasn't interested in knowing the truth. However, he started to worry for himself. He was an imposter. If Yu Qiu found out that he wasn't his son, then he would be done for. When did he come back? Yu Yang realized that he was stuttering a little. Don't be so agitated. Princess Isai sat on the other side of Yu Yang and held onto Yu Yang's big hand. We can't confirm whether he is the real one or not at the moment. After all, your father had already died in battle for 15 years. Now that you have just helped the Yu clan rise, he has come back. More importantly, everyone suspected that the mysterious expert who taught you combat skills was your father. The person who came back now, he is an imposter. Old Marshal, you had once shown him a slightly altered portrait that looked more like your father. In the end, He nodded his head and praised that you looked very similar to him. This means that he actually mistook you as his son. Of course, just a portrait can't prove anything, but it's enough to make people suspicious. Right now, we hope that you won't panic. If he is the real one, then that would be for the best. If he is a fake Yuchio, then we will definitely investigate this matter to the end. This, you mean that you want me to go and identify him? When Yu Yang heard this, he cried bitterly in his heart. The mysterious expert who taught him combat skills was the heavenly sword goddess, not Yuchio. It would be fine if he, a guy from another world, met a fake Yuchio, but if he met the real Yuchio, then he would be screwed. No, on the contrary, we hope that you don't meet him for the time being, in case he becomes familiar with you. If it was your father who taught you combat skills, then there is no reason for him not to know what you are good at. Right now, we don't have any evidence. We need to find more evidence before we can prove that he is a fake. Princess Sisai hinted to Yang to calm down. I know that you really want to see your father, but he doesn't usually come back. Furthermore, the moment he came back, he revealed that big brother Yushan was possessed by a demon. This matter is really fishy. My father and old Marshal Yu are a little suspicious that this fake Yu Yang is the one who was possessed by a demon. In other words, after your father died in battle, there might be a demon king or goblin king who used some kind of secret technique to infuse a soul into your father's body, allowing him to return to the Yu clan in the end. Right now, the elders are suspecting that this fake Yu Yang's target is you. Can't we expose him? Yu Yang was anxious. What he hoped the most was to prove that Yuchio was a fake. That way, he would be safe. If Yuchio was real, not only that hypocrite Yushan would be out of luck, he, the guy from another world, would also have nowhere to hide. Yu Yu's eyes were red, tears were about to fall. I heard that that person looks exactly like third uncle. His appearance, voice, beasts, and combat skills are all exactly the same. Furthermore, he could even talk about the various battles he went through in the past. I hope that third uncle can come back, but I also hope that what he said is not the truth. Although my father loves power, he would never be a demon. My heart is very confused about this matter. Yubing also had the same thoughts. She was even a little worried that the fake third uncle would kill her brother. Yu Yang was a little restless. Then does that mean that he is the real one? Qian waved her hand in objection. No, I think it's the opposite. He took the initiative to talk about his past in order to gain everyone's trust. What does this mean? He wanted to prove himself. If he was the real one, why would he need to prove himself? Furthermore, if Yushan was a fake clan master, why would he be in a hurry to expose him? Why didn't he wait to gather more evidence before pointing out that Big Brother is a fake? There are a few other suspicious points. He said that he was captured and lived in the Demon Abyss for 15 years. Later on, he gained the trust of a Demon Abyss Countess, which was why he had the chance to leave the Raging Fire prison and escape back to the Soaring Dragon continent. Your father's character is upright. He wouldn't kneel down to some countess in exchange for his life. This is the first point. The person who taught you combat skills since you were young is more likely to be your father. If he had been imprisoned in the Demon Abyss for more than 10 years, how could he have taught you combat skills? This is the second point. Furthermore, he didn't mention your mother's whereabouts and was in a hurry to see you the moment he came back. This is the most suspicious part. What do you guys want me to do? Confront him face to face? Yu Yang felt that he was still in a bit of danger. Even if he could prove that that fellow was a fake, she might even expose the fact that he was a guy from another world. The mysterious beauty knew his secret. At the very least, she knew what his inner demon was. Where does she go now? She seemed to know about this matter yesterday, and even asked him to quickly pass through the Virgo temple. This meant that she was still on his side. She seemed to be willing to keep his secret. This Wuxia, what was she thinking in her heart? Yu Yang felt that if the mysterious beauty was here, he would really have to ask her. Otherwise, her heart would be in a mess, and she would feel uneasy and upset. City Mistress Fallen Flowers pressed on Yu Yang's arm lightly. We have discussed this before. We think that you better not go back to see him. If he is real, it doesn't matter if you meet him later. He won't blame you. If he is a fake, it's the right thing for you not to go back. Otherwise, the enemy will take advantage of you. Anyway, wait for the elders to investigate in secret. When the truth is out, we can go back together. All right. Yu Yang was overjoyed in his heart. Of course, on the surface, he agreed reluctantly. When Princess Qian Qian and Luo Hua city mistress saw that Yu Yang had agreed not to return to the Yu clan, they heaved a huge sigh of relief in their hearts. They were afraid that Yu Yang's stubbornness would flare up, and he wouldn't listen to their advice. If he insisted on rushing back to investigate the truth, then everyone would be at a disadvantage. Now was not the time to fall out with the imposter. Furthermore, they didn't have any evidence as for the fact that Yu Yang was the imposter. They really didn't think about it. Only the mysterious beauty seemed to have suspected Yu Yang's identity. However, she didn't investigate further. She even chose to support Yu Yang unconditionally during the inner demon test in the Virgo temple, helping him to overcome his inner demon and pass the test. If the mysterious beauty didn't say anything, then in the whole soaring dragon continent, only she and Yu Yang knew about this little secret. Even the mysterious beauty wasn't sure of Yu Yang's real identity. It was just that the inner demon had magnified the suspicion in her heart. To be able to pass the Virgo temple successfully, the mysterious beauty had already cast aside Yu Yang's identity. She chose to trust and support him 100% and no longer paid attention to this problem. Let's pretend that we don't know anything and go to the 100 Schools Elite Tournament now. After that, we'll collect medicine to refine the rebirth pill. After we're cured, we'll go explore the gods' ruins. Princess Sisai looked at Yu Yang. This was the first time she looked at him with a pleading gaze. She didn't want anything to happen to Yu Yang. If that was the imposter, then the enemy would definitely be targeting Yu Yang. He had just become an innate not long ago. If the Demon Abyss Ranker didn't make a move before Yu Yang grew stronger, then there wouldn't be a chance in the future. Now, as long as they could drag this period of time, Yu Yang would become stronger. Even if the enemy had a sinister trick, it wouldn't be easy for them to succeed. In short, Yu Yang needed time because the enemy was eyeing him covetously. Yu passed a letter to Yu Yang. It was written by Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai. There were only a few sentences, but Yu Yang could see their love for him. Saner, don't worry about your family. Many things in the world are like mysteries. It's hard to distinguish right from wrong, but the truth will be revealed one day. Take care of yourself. No matter what happens in your family, don't believe it easily. The most important thing is to take care of yourself. Since Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai had already said that they wouldn't let Yu Yang return home to meet the Yu Qiu who had returned from the Demon Abyss, Yu Yang was more than happy to listen to them. No matter who was the demon between Yu Shan and Yu Qiu, Yu Yang didn't want to care. Yu Yang thought about this matter without considering his own identity. He really felt that it was suspicious. Let's go. We can't care about these things anymore. Let's focus on the tournament. Princess Sisai wasn't interested in the tournament at first. Now that she wanted Yu Yang to participate in the 100 Schools Elite Tournament, he didn't have time to think about his father's matter. After returning to the Champion Island, Fatty Hai and Yi Kong were overjoyed when they saw Yu Yang. Quick, you'll be late if you don't come back soon. You can lose to anyone but Shuet Qianren. Yu Yang only remembered that he still had a knockout match to fight. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.